Einav Zangaukar embraces her son Matan. My life, you are my life. He's been in captivity for 738 days, but along with 19 others is back home in Israel. Those joyful scenes reflected across the country. But for some families, the agony continues. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum says only 4 of the 28 bodies Hamas still holds will be returned today.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The manhunt continues in South Carolina for the gunman who went on a shooting spree early yesterday, killing 4 people.
It happened on St. Helena Island at a bar called Willie's. The place was packed with hundreds of people when shots rang out. The crowd scrambled for cover. Some ran to nearby businesses and homes.
Fox's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What happened on Indy's south side this morning? Clear radar, 45 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, going up to 70 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and here's what's trending at 9:02. Police had an intersection blocked off on the south side of the city this morning. Shelby and Raymond Streets was closed for much of the morning after a man was hit by a truck and taken to the hospital. He's in bad shape. Police say the driver actually took off after the crash, but then returned and is working with them as the investigation continues. You've probably heard Indianapolis police say this before.
Community involvement is critical anytime that we have an incident, no matter the scale. When our community calls in and raises alarm to something that's going on, it can point our officers and detectives in the right area.
That's IMPD officer Drew Brown speaking Saturday after a shooting at a gas station left a man dead. IMPD also says there was a shooting Sunday on the northeast side that killed a man, and a man that was shot in the head on the west side Sunday afternoon is alive at the hospital. The 6-0 Indiana football team is now ranked third in both the AP poll and coaches poll. John Herrick reports.
This is Indiana's highest ranking in program history. Indiana got 1 first-place vote in the coaches poll and tied a team record with 3 first-place votes in the AP poll. Indiana's been ranked nationally in both the coaches poll and the AP poll for a team record 20 straight weeks going back to 2024. Miami was number 2. Ohio State was number 1. The Hoosiers are coming off a 30-20 upset win over the Oregon Ducks. Oregon was ranked 3rd, but they dropped to 8th with that loss. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indianapolis Colts sit alone up top the AFC South this morning.
Hey, we talked about it last night. We talked about it on Monday, right? Belief, discipline, and relentless effort will get you to a victory. And that's what we did for 4 quarters. Give yourself a round of applause.
The reaction in the locker room is head coach Shane Steichen addressing the team after a 31-27 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
That's this league. You know what I mean? A lot of this league is what happened today. It's the back and forth. I thought our guys, handled it well on the sidelines, and then we knew it was going to be a back and forth game as we started getting going. And it was great, to see the offense there at the end go down and get that touchdown and go up 31-27 there.
And the Colts play the 4-2 LA Chargers on the road on Sunday. With the look at your traffic, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Ryan, looking at the south side, it's northbound 65 slow. Raymond up to the south split. North side, eastbound 465 slows a ditch. And on the southeast side, a crash, Brookville Road at South Arlington Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy Bunton is back with even more easy press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies for today. High temperatures warm in the mid-70s. Tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures in the low to mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
It's warming up. We're up to 49 in downtown Indianapolis. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey starts right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So the vice president came on Friday. Did it make any difference? It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Joined by Ethan Hatcher, host of Saturday Night on the Circle. Heard Saturday night 7 to 9 here on WIBC. Ethan Hatcher, hello.
Good morning, Rob. Happy to be here.
All right, so Friday, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, came to Indiana. This is his second visit here to the state, third meeting overall with Indiana legislators. Now, he was not here to fight for them to help you with property taxes or get your skyrocketing utility bills under control or deal with one of the nation's largest gas taxes or anything of that nature. No, he was here to strong arm is such a tough word, but he heavily influence the Republican-led General Assembly to redraw their congressional maps, to add 2 more Republican seats. And I got to tell you at this point, I'm just over all of it because we've reached a point of ridiculous. If you're so unsure of whether your constituents want it or not, they clearly don't, and we're just trying to find a way to jam a square peg into a round hole.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Rob. Did he really have to strong-arm the Republicans because from all the signals that I've seen, the Republican legislators themselves would love to be all in on redistricting. They have to make this case to their constituency, who would be very upset if they did, and they haven't found the magic combination of words to sell that idea.
Yeah, so he met with them, and then this was outside the state library, I think was where they met, or inside the state library. There were protests, and then you see the leadership, and that's Rod Bray, the pro tem of the Senate, Todd Houston, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And this happened the last time Vance was here, where these guys come out of this meeting and they get stopped by the media, and they don't say a whole lot. But they don't look excited at all about this. They don't look passionate at all about this. Quite frankly, they look like they don't want anything to do with this. And I think that is part of the broader concern is you have your local lawmakers who, let's face it, they're not exactly, based on the way they've governed, the creators of good choice quite often. But there's no overwhelming drive from the people they represent to do this. Many of them admitted very publicly how great the maps are that they already have. And yet, because you're so afraid of Donald Trump, you got to twist yourself into this mental pretzel to somehow come to this conclusion. Look, if it takes some guy 5 or 6 months to convince you to do something, I think we're all losing if you do that thing.
It's 7-2. The maps already heavily favor Republicans, and I find it hard to take their argument on redistricting seriously when they refuse to address the root of the problem. And yes, Democrats absolutely have rigged their maps to favor Democrats, as Republicans have done within their representational districts as well. But the problem is the apportionment that is assigned through the census, which counts illegal immigrants. And the way to challenge that is through the legal system, primarily the Supreme Court, but we've heard nothing out of Attorney General Todd Rokita to try and start getting the ball rolling to that effect. And you have a Supreme Court that by all reason would be favorable to that idea.
Yeah, so this is the question. David Shelton is going to join us today at 10. He's the Knox County clerk running for Secretary of State. And he's given some contradicting statements on whether he supports redistricting or not. So we will ask him about that. But I really have two questions that remain unanswered for me. Number one, what does adding 2 more Jefferson Shreves.
Right.
Because you're not going to get 2 Thomas Masseys. You're not going to get some Republican or liberty-minded individuals in those seats. The Republican establishment will hand choose who they want for those positions, and it will be a Jennifer Ruth Green or Jefferson Shreve type of person. And so for the people who are so passionate about this, how does getting 2 more of those types of Republicans, is that really worth all this effort and energy for 2 more Jefferson Shreves?
Well, I think you know the answer for me, which is no. But counter argument, let me play devil's advocate here, because our friend, your friend and mine, Andrew Ireland, of course, supports redistricting, which we are opposed to. But he also says that this would create an environment with more competitive elections, at least in the area immediately surrounding Marion County, because if you're going to be breaking up the Andre Carson district, then by necessity, many of those districts where those voters are shifted to will shift purple, because the voting habits of Indianapolis residents are not going to change. So would this inadvertently perhaps make elections more competitive, at least in the immediate region surrounding Marion County, by trying to slice that up in a million different pies?
Okay, but this is where we come to the point of all this, which is, and this is true with almost everything these people do, the hypocrisy. And it allows us to put the hypocrisy of these people on full display, because Marion County, once upon a time, was somewhat competitive. Now, look, the Carsons, whether it was Julia or Andre Carson, they were winning those districts. But there were numerous times, I remember especially in my 20s, where they'd say, okay, maybe this is the year. You know, they were still winning. It was relatively comfortable, but it wasn't what we're seeing today oftentimes. And the Republicans, just in the most recent set of maps that they drew, deliberately made Marion County less competitive to help their friend Victoria Sparks in the 5th Congressional District. So you don't get to come out now and go, well, these maps are totally uncompetitive. We've got to make them more competitive. Wouldn't it make elections better when you just had an opportunity to do that, or draw quote-unquote fair maps, which you said you did, and you deliberately made Marion County less competitive in the maps that you just drew?
Well, I think obviously the answer here is these people are full of crap, Rob.
Well, this is my point.
They are self-serving creatures, and that is the ultimate aim of redistricting. They are trying to get another couple of Jefferson Shreves in there, and I agree that would not serve the interests of Hoosiers well.
And the I see what you did there. And then the other thing is, if we're just going to say, well, Indiana voted for Trump, so we should get all 9 seats, then that's not every state in the union, then just whoever wins your presidential election, just give them all the seats. Look, they keep using Illinois as the, look at the gerrymandering. So Illinois has 17 congressional reps. 3 of those are Republican, 14 are Democrat. I pulled out my calculator over the weekend. That comes out to 82% of their seats are Democrat. In Indiana, 78% of our seats are Republican. We can't get to 82% because of different numbers. Right. So when they keep talking about, well, Illinois this, well, but Indiana that, we've done the same thing. I mean, comparatively, percentage-wise, Illinois and Indiana basically have the same number. The maps are rigged in their favor, and this all comes back to the reason I don't want these maps altered is it allows Republicans to be lazy and unaccountable. Yeah. If we just say that anytime we can't win an election by governing in a way that people want to vote for us, then we'll just change the map, then they will just keep governing in a way that keeps adding trillions of dollars to the debt, keeps the crony capitalism, keeps the legalized vote buying, the growth of government. All of these things, Republicans are looking for a bailout from their bad governance rather than governing better and earning the votes.
The bad argument they're attempting to move forward is that they are counterbalancing not just states like Illinois, but more importantly, states like New York or California that have dozens of congressional representatives, to which I say, again, the way to address that is by solving the root of the problem, which is counting illegal immigrants in the apportionment for congressional representation. That's a glitch in the system that needs to be addressed. But the Republicans are sitting on their hands when it comes to that.
Okay, so there's another poll that's come out. By the way, there's not been one public poll released that shows, and there have been numerous polls on this, but there's not been one public poll release that shows that people in this state are in favor of redistricting or anything close. There is a new poll that came out on behalf of Independent Indiana. We've had them on our show before. They're a group that exists to try to get more independent candidates elected or competitive to try to break these Republican and Democrat, strangleholds, right? Now, the group that they use is North Star Opinion Research, which I believe has a history of polling for Republicans and Republican-based groups and national Republican committees, et cetera. Capitol Chronicle has a article on this. If you'd like to read the sort of the details on this. So this is not some uber left firm that they used, but according to this North Star Opinion Research poll, 53% of Indiana registered voters don't support redistricting compared to 34% who do. Here in central Indiana, it's 55% opposed compared to 51% outside of central Indiana. So again, there's another poll showing not just that people aren't in favor of it, but by a pretty overwhelming margin that people don't favor what the Republicans are proposing to do.
Yeah, it's a thin majority. I would say that's more of a plurality, and it also is dependent on where those undecideds ultimately sit.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we have got to play some audio. Mark Kelly is a Democrat senator from Arizona, and he said something unbelievable about, it is totally believable if you listen to this program, but now they're saying it out loud about the shutdown and what's going to happen. It's Kendall Casey Show. Ethan's in for Casey, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
America has a new favorite beer. It's Mick Ultra. If you remember, Modelo was the #1 beer in America. They're blaming Trump. The Trump administration's immigration policies have affected its sales. Come on.
At least Cracker Barrel came out and said, hey, we screwed up. We're going to go back to the way things were. Bud Light never did.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda of Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Well, who needs a lake when you can lease a 2026 HRV-LX all-wheel drive for $309 a month and 0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda of Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake. Visit our showroom off State Road 37 today. Tax and title fees not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. 10,000 miles a year. Not combinable with other offers. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for details.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMike'sHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment, brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at boerremodeling.com.
So Democrat Senator Mark Kelly said something out loud that we've been telling you on this program for months, which is the shutdown is never really the root cause of it. It's never going to be good enough, no matter what agreements made. And the government will just keep growing and spending money forever and ever. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Well, Casey's in today. Casey and Jim, her husband, will be doing the Hammer and Nigel afternoon show. Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle in her place. Ethan, we were talking off air. I like when you're here because it forces me to be the calm one.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual for you. Usually it's the off the rails Rob that we've all come to know and love.
All right, so Mark Kelly, his wife is Gabby Giffords, the U.S. Congresswoman who was former U.S. Congresswoman who was shot. He's an astronaut.
Yes.
Not anymore. He's a senator now. But anyway.
What a cool job, by the way.
Very interesting life. The guy has lived a very interesting life. And Mark Kelly was on Meet the Press. And we have said for months now on this program that this shutdown is the most ridiculous thing ever, in which people are trying to paint themselves as good guys and bad guys, because what the Republicans want you to believe is they're doing you some sort of favor by continuing to approve Biden's spending levels and Biden's spending priorities. They're saying we're the good guys for keeping the government, quote unquote, open, but all that means is we're just continuing to approve all the stuff that Biden liked and wanted.
The Democrats aren't going to win the shutdown argument, because we've already seen this argument play out a number of times when it was Republicans who were in the minority, and it's usually the minority party that's holding things up that bears the responsibility for hemming and hawing and making all this noise and causing problems in the way that the federal government operates. So I think the Democrats are quickly going to find themselves on the short end of the stick in this discussion. But note, really, for the most part, in our daily lives, at least for me, there hasn't been a especially big change since the federal government has been shut down, air quotes here, even though we're almost halfway into the month. Everything seems to be operating just fine.
All right, so he was on Meet the Press, he being Mark Kelly, Democrat senator, and he said what we have been saying, which is, first of all, the Republicans will cave on Obamacare. They will keep the Obamacare subsidies going. They're totally invested in the legalized vote buying business. That's bad enough. After the years of lying about Obamacare and what it's, they're telling the truth about what it's doing, but lying about wanting to fix it and get it, insurance costs under control and blah, blah, blah. But what we've said is it won't stop with Obamacare subsidies, right? That's the argument right now, is should you take money from people like us and give it to people? You're basically giving money away to the insurance industry. These people aren't getting cheaper insurance. They're getting subsidized insurance from us. But I've said it doesn't matter. They won't stop with this. Once the Democrats get this, they'll move on to the next thing. And Mark Kelly, Democrat senator from Arizona, essentially said that on Meet the Press, that it's not stopping with Obamacare subsidies.
If Republicans commit to hold a vote to extend these subsidies before the end of the year, would that be enough for Democrats to reopen the government? Would you vote for that? Would you support that?
Not right now. No, we need a real negotiation, and we need a fix. We need this corrected for the American people. This is, for so many people, their health care is running towards a cliff, and if we don't fix this, it's going to go right over it. And having, some vote without an assured outcome. Now, here's the thing. The president has indicated that he wants to do something about this, and he wants the government open.
So we're right. Yeah. It's never stopping. And the broader question becomes, in 2010, we were told it was a Democrat Congress, right? Democrat House, Democrat Senate, Democrat President. In 2010, we were told when they passed Obamacare, this was going to be the end-all, be-all. Your insurance was going to go up one dime. If you liked your doctor, you could keep it. And yet here we are, we're still talking with Obamacare mostly intact from what it was in 2010 about how broken and horrible healthcare is in this country. And this guy's response is, give me some more of that.
I remember the moment when overturning Obamacare was essentially lost for the American people. And I think that was 2017, the famous moment when John McCain walked up and put his thumb down and voted no on overturning Obamacare because he was in a personality conflict with Donald Trump. And that was one of the great losses of the first Donald Trump administration, was failing to overturn Obamacare. But I remember having a conversation with the gentleman from Georgia, Brian Baker, who used to work here at the time. And he was walking through the halls. And after that John McCain vote and we failed to overturn, I said, we are stuck with this. We are stuck with this forever. That was the last moment. It had already been almost 8 years since the legislation had been passed. Here we are 8 years later, and we're still dealing with it. The will of the Tea Party has completely shifted. The winds of fate have continued to change, and we're stuck with it here today. The Republicans absolutely are going to cave on this.
All right, let's take a break. We got more government shutdown stuff later on in the program, but let's take a break. When we come back, Ryan Hedrick is going to join us from the WIBC newsroom. A lot of new developments on the Mark Sanchez case. There's a new video compilation that's come out. He was obviously he's out of the hospital, all over the cameras. And so we got a bunch of updates on the Mark Sanchez case with Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC newsroom. We'll get to that when we come back. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's time to get ready for spooky season by eliminating all of that spooky dirt, grime, and spills. Halloween brings out the best in people, but it also brings out some pretty scary crud from all the foot traffic. How about having Zero Res help you take on all of that with an unbelievable October special? Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Now that's some serious savings on the carpet cleaning. And remember that your air ducts are where the really spooky stuff is. Yikes! The Zero Res service for your carpets, floors, dryer vents, or air ducts is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. I love these folks, and don't forget the ZR Water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 plus 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus. Football season's back, so it's time for our annual Sit, Sleep, and Eat sale. Lowest prices of the year on all Lazy Boy, Flex Steel, and Smith Brothers. Save up to $800 on mattresses by Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and King Coil. And save up to $400 on the Big Green Egg. Free delivery, interest-free financing. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
President Trump says more peaceful times are ahead for the Middle East. Clear radar, 46 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, going up to 70. I'm Ryan Hedrick for Window Nation, and here's what's trending at 9:30.
We're going to help, and we're going to do something that became unbelievably popular. Everybody wants to be on it. It's called the Board of Peace. Okay, how about that? Is that a beautiful name? Like a board of peace.
President Trump speaking about an hour ago to the Knesset in Israel about the recently signed peace deal to end the war between Israel and Hamas. The president touting the end of the multi-year conflict with all living hostages returned. Drought conditions have been impacting the Hoosier State for quite a while over the last several months.
Across the state, we are down about 5 to 7 inches of rain, and we're just not going to see that amount of rainfall anytime soon. So at this point, I would expect the drought conditions to continue, not necessarily worsening, but likely not improving as well.
That's forecaster Mike Ryan at the National Weather Service, Indianapolis. He says there will likely be some rain this weekend, but it won't be enough to close the gap that the state needs to end the drought. The Indianapolis Colts are in first place this morning after beating the Arizona Cardinals 31-27, and the IU football team up 4 spots in the AP Top 25 poll after a 30-20 win over Oregon. They're number 3 this morning. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All 3 major indices are up this morning. The Dow up 390 points to 45,479.6. The S&P 500 up 81 points to 65,52.51. And the NASDAQ now up 446 3/4 points to 24,221.745. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
20 ribeyes for $35. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at 2 locations in Indianapolis going on now. 20 ribeyes for only $35 in the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Just look for the big truck. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Also on the big truck is cases of T-bones, fillets, New York strips, burgers, and a whole lot more. Big truck sale. Marinated chicken breasts too. Don't wait. Big steak sale at 2 different locations. In the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. 20 ribeyes for just $35. Don't wait. Everything must go. Last chance this week. Big truck sale. That's 20 ribeyes for $35. West 86th Street and Michigan Road, and the second location in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Get there before the truck is gone. So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal, like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
Well, he told me he desperately wants to talk about his work in the alley. So I said, hey, sign me up for that. That's interesting. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Ethan Hatcher in for Casey. Ryan Hedrick, newsman extraordinaire from the WIBC Newsroom, joins us now for the latest on the Mark Sanchez. Well, it's a saga at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Ryan Hedrick, hello.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
All right, so you have been just digging and digging. You have done all sorts of work, ignoring friends, family, other commitments.
My wife hasn't seen me in 3 days.
You are desperately. And
It
really,
took you that long to walk the alley?
Jeez.
It's a long alley, Ethan.
Amazing work you're doing, getting information as it relates to Mark Sanchez. Now, before we dig into that, so TMZ came out with a video compilation of him wandering the alley, walking down the alley, walking back into the alley, walking out with what appears to be the stab wound. I mean, I have more that video gave me more questions than it did answers. What say you?
I think we answered a possible motive in that this may have been a guy that was just looking for trouble, right? Because he was circling the alley. As we see 12:05, there are 3 or 4 important timestamps in that video sequence that TMZ shared. And the first is Perry Toll driving his truck. I think he's headed...
That's the victim.
Yeah, Perry Toll is the victim. He's headed northbound as he takes a left turn from West Washington onto South Osage Street and headed down toward that dumpster in the bay where he's dumping grease behind the Westin Hotel. And then I think the couple of times that we see Mark Sanchez emerging from the alley as he enters from the Maryland Street side and heads back north toward West Washington Street, he's kind of looking over his shoulder. And that's part of the video where I felt compelled to share where the dumpster is, because I think at that point, he sees Perry Toll, but he doesn't exactly know what's going on.
Okay, so this is where it comes to more questions than answers, because it appears he leaves the alleyway and then goes back. And so it goes to your thing, like it was almost like he was looking for a fight. But and look, again, this, and you know this as well as anybody, and you talk about this a lot on your Supporting Sobriety podcast, substance abuse, abuse of substances, whatever, make people do crazy things. But you're Mark Sanchez, you're a gajillionaire, you have a gorgeous wife, you're an NFL football announcer. You're looking to fight people in alleyways? I don't know, man. I mean, that just something seems totally off about all this.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. And I'm thankful that as part of my reporting process, I visited that pub toward Senate Avenue, because I now know that pub closed at midnight. So if Sanchez is walking east up West Washington Street at about 12:14, 12:15, and he approaches the pub, I think we can surmise that he probably saw the close sign on the pub and just turned right back. That's exactly why I think he turned back, because there were no more bars open to continue drinking.
What? So I'm kind of at a loss here. What would be the motivation for this successful guy, former quarterback, sports broadcaster? He's in a strange city. What's the motivation there to go looking for trouble, to get inebriated or intoxicated in some way, some form or fashion, and then go wandering around a strange city? Because that just seems like a recipe for disaster, which clearly it was.
You ever heard of liquid courage?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think was going on. I mean, I can remember, I'll just share, when I used to get drunk a lot, I used to get angry the more I drank. And depending on what you drink, I think I shared with you, Rob, with Kendall when she was in here last week.
Casey.
I'm sorry, Casey.
Yeah.
Let me slow down.
It's the Rob and Kendall show.
When I was drinking 100 proof liquor, I used to get very angry. And
100 proof is strong.
Yeah, alcohol affects people in different ways. So maybe, I mean, we're just guessing at this point, but his mannerisms and what he was doing up and down that sidewalk indicate that he was looking at something that he didn't like or had to turn back. The pub was closed, and now he's headed back west and back ready to go down that alley.
Okay, so he was what? He finally was released, he being Mark Sanchez, was finally released from the hospital. He was then booked into the Marion County Jail, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
so
yeah.
the mugshot is out and processing. The judge said he had to do that in order to be able to leave the state.
Yeah, so Friday was actually a really important day in this whole saga, as you called it, because the judge ordered Sanchez to be, after he was released from the hospital, he had to go to the jail to get processed in order to leave the state. The lawyers filed for a motion to leave the state because he obviously, I think he lives in California. Dana Point is where he owns a home. So in order to get back home, the attorneys had to put in a motion, and that motion was granted by a Marion County judge. So on Sunday, I think what we saw is him getting released from Eskenazi, showing up at the Justice Center to get processed, which involves the booking photo and the fingerprints, and then getting kicked back out to be confronted by reporters in front of the Justice Center.
Okay, so we actually have a little bit of this as he was coming out of the Justice Center. Here's that clip.
Now I'm just focused on my recovery, and I just wanted to thank the first responders, Eskenazi Hospital. That's how you're going to hit some. I just want to thank Dr. Mossler, the surgeon. She saved my life, so I'm grateful for that. Sorry, I can't answer all your questions.
Feeling any better?
Thank you, guys. All right. So he's got a major problem in the sense of this is not an embarrassing thing like, the Eddie Murphy or Pee Wee Herman or whatever, where, hey, that's a really bad look, but, people would say it's largely a victimless crime, right? In the sense of nobody was injured in the process. You've got a guy who is totally disfigured, and he allegedly did this.
Yeah, I don't think it's as big a problem as you may think it is. And here's the reason why. The Marion County justice system is very sympathetic to addicted people. I know for a fact, I have sat in rooms and meetings with people recently who have been convicted of serious drug trafficking crimes, serious drug trafficking crimes, a lot of weight on them, and they stand in front of a judge and they laugh about it. These people will tell me after the meeting or even share in a meeting that they pled to being a drug addict or a drug user or whatever. They just couldn't control their habits. So for Mark Sanchez, his defense will most likely, if he's smart, center on, I can't control my alcohol. It's taken over me. And the Marion County justice system will probably say, okay, you probably do have a problem, and order some kind of rehab.
Before we let you go, now Sanchez is married now, but there is a woman. I don't think he was ever married to her, but he has at least one kid with her.
Yeah.
Right. And she was a former model and
Bobby
actress.
K is her model name.
Yeah, that's not her real name, but I think it comes back to this too, like just throwing away like it. Rod Stewart wrote a song once that said, "Some guys have all the luck,"
yeah,
and that is this guy's life. And people are looking at this going, "You threw it all like everything about this guy's life: good looking, great athlete." Perfect 10, wives and girlfriends, rich. And they're like, you were fighting some guy in an alley? Okay. But the mother of his child spoke out on, was it Instagram?
Yeah, she took to her Instagram account to talk about this.
That's why you do it now, right?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Emily Campaneri. She said that, her first priority is and always will be her 8-year-old son, Daniel. She said she received an alert on her phone sitting next to her son last Saturday when this happened, and she said she wasn't surprised. I think it's an indictment on his behavior. She didn't elaborate on why she wasn't surprised by this, but look, we talk about it all the time when you have me in here to promote the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Addiction is an insidious disease. It is subtle in the ways it affects people, and it knows no socioeconomic boundaries. And I'm not saying that Mark Sanchez, I'm not saying he's not culpable of this or not responsible. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when the drugs enter somebody's body, no matter what their status is, no matter what top tier person you think they are, all bets are off. And Sanchez obviously couldn't handle his liquor.
And I would love to hear a little bit more from your perspective about that comment about the defense that he will most likely attempt to mount. Oh, the alcohol, it took over, it took control of me. I think that is a BS argument because I don't think alcohol or any other drug or intoxicating substance for that matter, it doesn't take you over. It reveals more of who you were at your core. It just takes off those inhibitions, and the activities that you already had a propensity to engage in, you will be drawn to even more so because those inhibitions are utterly removed.
I couldn't agree more. I think he should be held responsible 100%. I'm just telling you from what I know to be true. I have lots and lots and lots of friends who should be in prison right now. Instead, they're in 12-step meetings because they have gone in front of that prosecutor and all his, men and women who prosecute these cases, and they stand up and they say, I am an addict, I am an alcoholic, drugs. And for some reason, the Marion County justice system is sympathetic to people who stand in front of a judge and say, I need a second shot because I need help, and trust and believe his attorneys are already formulating a game plan because the whole thing is the affidavit says he was intoxicated. So the prosecutor's office is going to look at that as an extenuating circumstance and say, well, it's almost like they treat addiction and alcoholism as a third person in these crimes. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that's what they do.
That's crazy that would be a mitigating factor to your alleged assault against a 69-year-old man who you beat so hard it busted his cheek straight to the bone, allegedly.
Now, if Ryan Mears wants to take a victory lap, what he can also do is double down on justice and say no matter what kind of condition you were in, this is what we're going to do. You don't come to Indianapolis and commit crimes like this. We stand with the victim. But wouldn't that be the first time? Wouldn't that be the first time that Ryan Mears has ever stood with the victim?
Yes. Yeah, there's an election to be won, though. All right, Ryan Hedrick, where can people find you, by the way?
Sure to Cover, Twitter, @Sure to Cover, and then follow me on TikTok, @Sure to Cover 2, and, of course, WIBC.com, our whole news team working on this story day and night.
Ryan Hedrick, you're the best. Thank you. All right, when we come back, a prominent Donald Trump supporter says she is pondering not even voting in 2026. It's really hard to blame her once you hear the information. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's Casey Daniels filling in on the Hammer and Nigel show. We're going to recap the weekend on Monday, see what happened, and also it's Monday Gun Day, that and so much more. It's 93 WIBC.
Energy slipping? Losing your edge? It could be low T. Take action. Synergen X and Low T Center offer a quick free T test.
Get pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, never compounded, personalized by experts just for you. Most insurance covers it. The best you is waiting. TRTMVP.com.
As proud sports medicine partners of the Indianapolis Indians, Butler University, Purdue University, and the Indiana Sports Corporation, Franciscan Health is here to keep our community moving. Whether you're a weekend warrior or high school champ, we offer injury evaluations, concussion testing, and personalized recovery plans to help you get back out there. Because when you love the game, we love getting you back in it. Call 317-781-1133 or visit franciscanhealth.org/sportsmedindy.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Let's come together, Indy. Join us in Shepherd Community Center as we partner with Gleaners to help feed families right here in our city. Stop by 4107 East Washington this Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. for a special food distribution event focused on giving back and spreading hope.
Okay, so a prominent very loud Trump supporter is saying she is considering not even voting in 26, and I think I'm with her. So Laura Loomer. Now, years ago, we used to have Ethan Hatcher's in for Casey today, by the way. Ethan, you'll remember this. Years ago, when I was but a baby Rob Kendall, we used to have, Ethan was the producer for the Rob Kendall Show, Sundays on WIBC. Long before she was famous like she is today, we used to have Laura Loomer on our show quite a bit. And now she's gone from just sort of high-profile agitator to one of the most powerful voices, arguably, in Trump orbit. For those of you who don't know, most people do. She's internet broadcaster, citizen journalist, influencer, but she's certainly got the ear of the president and the people around him. And she is upset specifically about this Qatari Air Force facility that's going to be built in Idaho. Now, I think she's upset about a bevy of things, but this was sort of the last straw for her. And she has said now that she is pondering not even voting in 26 because she's so done with the Republicans. And to her, I say, well, welcome to the party, pal.
It's kind of a sad situation that I think she's not alone in finding herself in, being continuously disappointed by elected representation over the course of not just a couple of cycles, but over the course now, I'd say, of a couple of decades.
Yeah, and you and I have had this conversation many times over the years. I think one of the most frustrating things is if I were to say to the average person, the compelling reason to vote for the Republicans is blank, the overwhelming answer you're going to get is somebody going, well, the Democrats.
Yeah.
And no. The compelling reason to vote for the Republicans is, and they can't give it to you. They can't with a straight face say, hey, the country's going really well, or our state is going really well, or the taxes are really low, or we're really getting good value for our money. The only answer they have is the Democrats.
Well, occasionally you get something about abortion. Well, we finally overturned abortion. Well, we don't need an abortion abortion factory on every corner. That's what you get.
Sure, and that's not to say that there aren't some things that the Republicans have done that are good. But if you take the collective governance, right, on you put it all together and give it a score, most people are very displeased with both the state governance they're getting, see the property tax debacle of this past year, but certainly at the national level where the Republicans spend every bit as much as the Democrats, they drive up the debt every bit as much as the Democrats. And it's a pretty depressing position to be in to say, well, the only motivation I have, and I saw somebody over the weekend do this with me. They said, well, at least this way we get a slow walk towards the end or whatever, insanity or whatever word they use. And I was like, that's what you're willing to accept? You're willing to say, well, I've got to vote for these people because they'll slow walk me to a horrible end rather than the other side.
That's the frightening reality. That's something that the great Rush Limbaugh used to talk about on his program a number of years ago, especially when he was being honest about Republican representation before he really threw into the Trump administration before he passed away. But that the primary difference between Republicans and Democrats is not the size of government, but that the speed with which we grow it.
Yeah, and you really see this play out here in the state of Indiana because I think it hits people more sort of directly in the face of when you look at the never-ending tax on gasoline or the property taxes and clearly how that was totally screwed up again this year, or the fact that they raised taxes by $1 billion to balance their budget this past year. Like just one thing after another in which Republicans fail to live up to their campaign promises. And it really frustrates you with the Democrats' inability to get their act together because you say, look, if you just would not be insane, crazy people, if you could just be remotely normal and just run on things like, government competency, then you might have a real chance to win elections. But Democrats, to their detriment, can't do that. They're incapable. They're so nuts that they can't even run like normal people to win an election.
Have you ever seen that horror movie, The Babadook, that came out a few years ago? The Babadook. There's a famous meme that came out of that movie, and it's the mom screaming at her child, "Why can't you just be normal?"
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's how we're addressing the Democrats.
So anyway, I think I'm with her. I'm at that point too. What is the point in even voting? All right, let's take a break. When we come back, David Shelton, he's running for Secretary of State, Knox County Clerk. He says that redistricting would cause a whole bunch of chaos with our elections, but he supports doing it anyway. We'll get to the bottom of it. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
So October is here. I've got peace of mind with my Window Nation windows that the hot air is going to stay in my house and the cold air is going to stay out. You can eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with top quality replacement windows from Window Nation, just like I did. And they got an awesome deal right now going on at windownation.com.
Window Nation has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they send the best of the best out to your house. All of their experts have multiple years experience, and Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty. So schedule a fast and free estimate right now with Window Nation. And now through October 31st, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And you don't pay anything for 2 years. 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
At Life Church, we believe that the truth of the Word of God is for all ages and vital to their ability to thrive in our current culture.
Barna research shows a child's faith is often set by age 13. That's why we're passionate about reaching kids and teens with truth and love right now.
With safe spaces, committed volunteers, and a foundation built on God's Word, Life Church is here to help your whole family grow in Jesus.
Whether your kids are just starting out or learning to own their faith, we're ready to walk that journey with you.
Go to lifechurchin.com for service times and locations. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says Mitsubishi mini splits are a great option for heating and cooling sunrooms, garages, basements, or that new home office.
The mini splits are great for places that we don't have a lot of room for duct work. We can hide them in the ceilings, integrate them into the walls, or even sometimes behind walls.
See what Kirby can do for you at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what's next for the Indiana weather this week? What happened in a traffic incident this morning on the south side of Indianapolis, and how one mother in Indy says she got some much-needed help. Those stories and more coming up after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 10 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump is about to land in Egypt after celebrating in Israel. I'm Dave Anthony.
The hostages are back. The hostages are back.
Addressing Israel's parliament after Hamas released the last 20 living hostages in the ceasefire he brokered.
Let me also convey my tremendous appreciation for all of the nations of the Arab and Muslim world that came together to press Hamas to set the hostages free.
And the president will meet with their world leaders and others from around the world at a peace summit in Egypt. As for Palestinians living in Gaza, left in ruins by the war Hamas's terror attack triggered,
this is their chance to turn forever from the path of terror and violence. It's been extreme, to exile the wicked forces of hate that are in their midst, and I think that's going to happen.
As for the freed hostages,
many of them are in hospital around Tel Aviv or on the way to those hospitals by helicopter. Initially, those hostages were under Hamas control. They were transferred from Hamas to members of the International Red Cross and then to Israeli Defense Forces.
Fox's Steve Harrigan also reports from Jerusalem.
Some disappointment when it comes to hostages not alive. Only 4 bodies recovered so far out of 28.
As part of the deal, Israel is also releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. The search for a gunman continues in South Carolina, where a mass shooting early yesterday at a bar on St. Helena Island left 4 people dead, 20 injured. For the 13th day in a row, most of the federal government is closed.
The hurt from the government shutdown intensifies this week. Workers off the job, services suspended, and now many federal employees will miss paychecks. Republicans believe that turns up the pressure on Democrats to cave.
Fox's Ted Pergam at the Capitol, where another Senate vote will be tomorrow. Democrats have refused to agree to a funding bill unless it includes health care provisions. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What lies ahead for the Indiana weather? At the moment, it is sunny and 57 in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Gutter Helmet. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Expect a mostly dry week throughout Indiana, but
we actually do stand a better chance to finally see some rain as we go into the weekend.
Mike Ryan with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there could be some strong storms at times on Saturday and Sunday, but they'll need to see more data on that this week as it continues to develop. The driver of a pickup truck hit a man this morning on the south side of Indianapolis. IMPD says it was at the intersection of Shelby and Raymond Streets at around 5:45. The man who was hit was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. They also say the truck driver left the scene initially, but then came back and is now cooperating with police. After knocking off the Oregon Ducks on Saturday, 30-20 in Eugene, the Indiana Hoosier football team is now 6-0. They move up to 3rd in both the AP and the coaches poll. That's the highest ranking in the history of IU football. Indiana's been ranked in the top 10 just 3 times since the poll's inception in 1992. Also, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish moved up to 13th in the AP poll and 15th in the coaches poll after they routed NC State 36-7. Hoosier head coach Kurt Signetti saying after that win over Oregon that he's proud of his resilient football team overcoming obstacles.
Really proud of the guys. We hung in there. You know, we couldn't stay on sides for a while, and then for a while we had a bunch of guys laying on the ground. And I was like, what's going on here? And then they'd return a player or two later.
They face the 3-3 Michigan State Spartans this Saturday at 3:30. A young mother in Indianapolis getting some help. Johnette Cruz explains how.
An Indianapolis auto repair shop played a key role in giving a local mother a fresh start last week. Caliber Collision in downtown Indianapolis partnered with Travelers and the National Auto Body Council Recycled Rides program to donate a refurbished vehicle to Alex Ball, a resilient young mother nominated by Family Promise, which is an organization that helps families facing homelessness become more secure and stable. Alex had been driving an old, unsafe vehicle, making simple tasks like putting her young son in his car seat very difficult. This fully repaired car provides her with the reliable transportation she needs to continue her journey towards independence and stability for her family. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Pat Sullivan here. I've got a fall lifesaver for you, Gutter Helmet. You know what fall means in Indiana? Leaves, piles of them. And if you've got gutters, you've got a problem, unless you've got Gutter Helmet like I do. I haven't cleaned my gutters in years. Why? Because Gutter Helmet does the dirty work for me. This isn't just a cover. It's a patented system that allows water to flow through while the debris slides off, and your gutters stay clear. No more ladders, no more scooping out soggy gunk. Just peace of mind. Thousands of Central Indiana homeowners have already made the switch. Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection since 1981. And it's been protecting my home every time it rains. And right now, they're offering a 15% discount plus 12 months no-interest financing. But don't wait. This deal ends October 31st. Call 800-5HELMET for your free no-pressure estimate. That's 800-5HELMET or visit gutterhelmetindy.com and never clean your gutters again.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So our next guest says redistricting is going to cause a bunch of chaos with the elections, but he's for it anyway. Let's get to the bottom of it. Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Ethan's in for Casey. Our old pal, Knox County Clerk David Shelton, our guest now. He is running for Secretary of State on the Republican side. David Shelton, hello.
Good morning, Rob. How are you today?
All right. So this is very interesting to me because, look, and I've said you are running against Diego Morales at the convention next June. All members of decent and good society should be cheerleading for you because any person that can get us rid of Diego Morales, we're on board. But I have several questions because you had sent me. You are the Knox County Clerk.
Correct.
Which means you administer elections for a living.
Yes, I do.
You actually know how to do the job of Secretary of State.
That's the illusion I'm trying to maintain.
Very good. Okay. So you had messaged me, and let's start with this. You had said if the Republicans indeed do go forward with redistricting, it's going to cause a lot of chaos, especially at this late date. Tell us about that.
All right. So the first deadline we have to be aware of is as early as December 1st, we can start accepting absentee applications from voters all around the state.
For a primary? For a primary?
Yeah, that's state law in December 1st. Yeah. So that's a date. So we're going to have to hold those, and they may have to be amended or refiled if they change congressional districts. That's one concern there. Another concern I have is the Democrat precinct committeemen are on the ballot next year. They have to live in the precinct they're running for. So any changes involving congressional redistricting will probably involve a split precinct here and there. We don't know the extent, how many. It may only be a half dozen counties that will have split precincts, but new precincts will have to be established before candidates can sign up to run for a Democrat precinct committeeman spot. That deadline right now, you can start signing up as early as January 7th.
Okay, so are those sort of the two main things? Because I look at this and say, well, how would I even know if I want to run? I don't know what the district is going to be until, I guess Braun has said November, right? We're almost to November anyway. Then you got to fundraise. That would seem to cause mass havoc on if you even want to run for this office.
Well, yes and no. The local districts, county, statewide, those districts aren't changing whatsoever. It's only a congressional district. And the way the laws are, you don't have to live in your district to run for that office, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Now, what's the rule? You have to live in it when you represent it, but not to run for it.
Right. You'll have to move in there by November of 26.
So somebody could be consulting Mark Deedle or another trained real estate professional to get their information.
Absolutely, or they just simply get an apartment. I think you guys talked about it on State House Happenings recently. It's where you intend to lay your head at night,
right.
Which is again kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, David Shelton's our guest. He's the Knox County Clerk. So, do you think a lot of these issues can be rectified in time? Because again, let's face it, government's not the most efficient thing when you give it years to get things together. We're talking a matter of months here. It seems that we are setting up for a lot of uncertainty and chaos in the election system if they go forward.
It could be. I have my concerns about the actual movement of the voters because when you create the split precincts, it's hard to catch every voter to move them. You have to do what's known as manual address range assignments to move the voters to the correct precincts. The election division has a staff of 10 people, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats. There's really only 2 people in that office to help with that process of moving the voters and make sure it's completed correctly. A lot of documentation is involved with that. Maps have to be created of the new precincts. Now, it's going to be difficult. Is it impossible? No. I'm a firm believer every problem has a solution. We will come together. It's just the unknown that bothers me. I don't like not knowing what's going on when it comes to our elections. I want to be able to help where I can and rally whatever resources is necessary to make sure the voters are moved to eliminate as much confusion as possible for the voters.
David Shelton's our guest. He's the Knox County clerk. He's also running for Secretary of State on the Republican side against Diego Morales this June at the convention. I want to get to that in a second, but first, so there's been some confusion because you are Mr. Election Competency, and there's been some confusion. Do you support redistricting given some of the things and problems that you have laid out?
I support it, but I have a certain, level of concern. I feel like our maps are really good here in Indiana right now. The legislators did a wonderful job with the maps in 2021. But it's not an Indiana issue. It's a national issue. And I'll go into my crazy conspiracy theory on that. During the Biden administration, we saw 15, 20 million non-citizens, illegal aliens come into our country. That's equal to 20 to 30 congressional seats worth of people right there. These people will be counted in the census in 2030 as of right now. We need to take steps now to make sure that they are counted, but not counted towards congressional reapportionment. Because if we lose 25, 30 seats, we can't overcome that. If that happens, it's only a matter of time before D.C., Puerto Rico become states, which means 4 new Democrat senators in there. Go a step further. They have that kind of control. They're going to expand the Supreme Court. They're going to pack it. They're going to maybe even give non-citizens the right to vote. So in my mind, this is an end-game situation for Republicans. The Democrats have been playing this game for decades, and we as Republicans have always just rolled over and taken it. Now's the time to fight back. Now's the time to play by the same rules they're playing by.
All right, so this is where people get a little upset with politicians because Adam Wren, friend of our program, Portonville, Politico, did an interview with you in September, I think it was. Is that right?
It was an informal, spontaneous interview. It was nothing scheduled. I was at an event.
Sure, these are your words, though, right? It's not like somebody held a gun to your head.
Right,
you were not taken hostage.
Those are some of my words.
Yeah. Okay, so, quote, in my opinion, to redistrict now would cause more harm than good, at least with public perception, at the very least. How does that change? What has changed for you in a month? I mean, that seems pretty definitive. And look, I wholeheartedly agreed with those assessments.
So I think this goes to show that I don't operate in an echo chamber. I have an opinion, but I can see the other side's opinion as well on things there. For purely selfish reasons, I'm concerned about redistricting because I'm going to be on the ballot next year. Are the Democrats going to be able to rally their troops? Is this going to be a get out the vote vehicle for them? Is this going to be their major talking point? We won't know until it happens.
So, I mean, I guess that's what people are saying is, does what you said a month ago, is that null and void? I mean, that's a pretty definitive statement, right? That it would cause more harm than good. It seems like, and you understand how people would say this, it seems like you're sort of going with where you think, I mean, you got to run with the delegates, right? That's the hardcore people. And that, hey, you're kind of just going with where you think maybe the delegates are versus from an election integrity standpoint, I think you made the correct statement.
Right. Well, I mean, the statement is what I said, but the question wasn't even related in that reporting there. I was asked, do I think it's going to happen? And I said, I don't know at this time. Historically, we as Hoosiers, we as Republicans, we don't like being told what to do. I mean, you go back to the last couple conventions, 2022, the so-called establishment was for Holly Sullivan. We were told to vote for her. That didn't happen. You go back last year to the state convention for lieutenant governor's race. You had President Trump endorse Julie McGuire, but the delegates rejected that endorsement and went their own way. So, we have a historical track record of not doing what we're told. And my quoted statement was a continuation along those lines.
David Shelton's our guest. He's running for Secretary of State on the Republican side. We're talking about redistricting. How does 2 more Jefferson Shreves make anybody's life better? And how do you square with being an election integrity guy and saying, hey, the maps are really good and your job is to enforce free and fair elections, but then going, well, some Democrats somewhere else done it might benefit them, so we should probably make our maps more unfair. How do you kind of those two things? I think sort of maybe they're 2 separate questions, but pair them together if you can.
All right. Well, the first one, you're comparing to one of our current congressmen, but I would counter: how can we survive with 2 more AOCs or 2 more Hakeem Jeffries around the nation? Or even here, we need to do what we can to represent the people, and I feel like this would be a fair way of representing the people. People are going to be yelling gerrymandering Well, they've been yelling it for years, even though, maps look good now. But, 90% of local county elected officials are Republicans. So the argument of gerrymandering doesn't hold water with me at all. Now,
so, I mean, why don't we just go to whoever wins the presidential election in a state gets all the delegates? I mean, if that's what we're doing, because clearly Indiana's not a 90-10 state.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 100% Republican. It's 60-40. 78% of the congressional seats currently go to Republicans. I mean, where does it end?
Kind of a confusing question there.
Well, that's you're advocating as the chief elections officer to change the maps.
Yeah.
The question is, where does this end? Because I keep hearing, well, so-and-so did such and such, and so-and-so did such and such. And, I just feel like we're throwing all sense of fairness and equity out the window, and it really seems like because some guy in Washington, D.C. is screaming at us to do it.
Well, now and then when I'm in office, I won't be making these decisions. I'm left to pick up the pieces and make it work. I'll be an administrator. I'm not a legislator. I don't want that job. But, your concerns are valid. I do understand them, but I'm going to stick with what I said earlier. Overall, this is, a national issue, not an Indiana issue.
All right. Hey, before we let you go, now, you know me, David, and I like you, and I think you would be very qualified for this position, far more than the guy you're running against. But I'm not going to say it on the radio, not saying when you're standing right in front of me. You got to be tougher on Morales.
I understand that.
I feel like I feel like you're tougher on Bo Bai than you were Morales, and that's the guy you're running against. Do people in the rest of the state look? My concern is this: the people in our 25 counties that hear us are going to know exactly who Diego Morales is and all the stuff he's done, and then you're going to get to Fort Wayne and the region and places you can't hear us, and people are going to go, "Oh, he's great. He hands me the plates of the Lincoln days. What a nice guy." You go across the state. Is that a valid concern?
No, because I am all around the state. I am having conversations in Lake County and Clark County, everywhere else. They're aware of the situations. I have people, I can't go to a single event without somebody asking me if I'm planning on going to Indy. I don't go to a single event where people are asking me if I have a brother-in-law looking for a job. That happens every day. I also have people say, hey, you need to keep on doing what you're doing. Some people are tired of the negativity. I just can't start lobbing firebombs everywhere I go because I have to.
Have you tried? It's kind of fun.
Well, it's kind of fun.
You'd feel much better about yourself.
But you have some doors closed to you. You get disinvited to Lincoln Day dinners and such like that. So I am trying to be boring. I am trying to be that generic R so I can get into the office, find out what the hell actually happened, expose that if necessary, and just do the job. The campaign, my campaign is even bigger than me because it's about building relationships. I'm identifying issues. I'm meeting with legislators. I'm getting them to agree to carry bills to improve our election processes right now. So even if I am unsuccessful next June, I've made successes in improving our election process. And that's a key because the office is bigger than the person.
David Shelton, if people want to learn more about you, how can they find you?
SheltonForIndiana.com. Also follow me on social media. Facebook is my most well-used medium. I do have a X account as well, but not as active there.
It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Thank you.
Tony Katz.
There's a real truth here that is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. Gen Z is not hooking up. And you're missing out on experiences. You're missing out on connections. I don't know why it isn't important, but being afraid of the experience is a real problem for the soul. Well, how do you find people? How do you create? To quote Avenue Q, there is life outside your apartment.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $5,250. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
It's the strongest hearts that remind us to cherish the moments. It's the grandmas who made us sit up straighter, the grandpas who showed us old records, and the parents who were embarrassingly loud at our games. It's those hearts that are anything but ordinary. Caring for extraordinary hearts for decades, Franciscan Health knows heart care is more than just a name on a chart. It's somebody who shaped your whole life. Heal your heart today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years' experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
So the shutdown remains in full effect, and the talking heads were all over the media this weekend, bloviating to their highest capacity. We'll play a couple clips here. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Actually, she's in today. She'll be doing the afternoon show along with Jim. Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle in for Casey. Okay, so first clip. So Trump came out over the weekend, I guess this was Friday, and said, change my mind, I'm going to pay the troops. And
is he paying for them with tariff money?
Well, that's a great point, right? Because he's already now allocated the tariff money, to
WIC, women and infant children.
And the farmers, even though that money was supposed to go to us.
Well, it's going to be split three ways now.
And so now he's decided he's somehow going to pay the troops.
It is going to us. If you happen to be a troop or a farmer or a woman with an infant child, then that's us.
Well, and I think you need to clarify, I'm not against the troops getting paid in any shape, form, or fashion, but this just all seems very willy-nilly. We make it up as we go along. We make up about whatever we feel in the moment. We change our minds in an instant. And now a bunch of people, and this is a crazy position to be in, Ethan, are actually pushing back some members of Congress on whether he can actually pay the troops.
Well, because they don't want the Trump administration to look good.
Well, this is the point. Okay, so listen to this. So Jim Hines is this guy's name. He's a Democrat rep from the state of Connecticut, and he appears pretty pissed off that the troops might actually get paid. Listen to this.
Well, the White House seems to be trying to take that issue off the table. The president posted on social media that they're going to repurpose funds somehow to pay the military, at least for this pay cycle. Is that sustainable? Is that legal?
Probably not. Again, we just had a little conversation about the White House's understanding of United States law, which is pretty tentative to say the best. The Speaker of the House, because I think to pay the military during a shutdown would require legislation. The Speaker of the House has taken that off the table. So, I mean, is Donald Trump going to say a bunch of stuff? Yes, he's going to say a bunch of stuff, but I don't see anything moving. The House, as Senator Murphy pointed out, the House is on vacation. So, no, I don't think that that's very likely.
Imagine being the guy who's going to file the lawsuit over the troops getting paid.
Yeah,
now, the Democrats will do it.
Now Democrats are wanting to stand on procedure. I love that. The irony is thick.
I have no doubt that there would be a Democrat. There's one at least probably pondering it. Whether they actually go through with it or not, I don't know. But it does sort of reveal how stupid this whole thing is, where they're just making it up as they go along.
That might, ultimately it might be even better if they do put this to a vote, because I would love for the Democrats to officially put their name behind not paying the troops. Let's do it. Call a vote. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll call a vote. Let's do it then.
Okay, so it gets better. So Chris Murphy, he is a Democrat senator. Is he also from Connecticut? I think, is that right?
What was the name?
Chris Murphy.
Yeah.
So these are both Connecticut people, which is just great. he famously came out years ago. 2013 was when the Republicans shut the government down over stuff. There were other things, but much of it was related to Obamacare, and he came out saying you can't shut the government down over health care. You got to leave the government open. So he gets asked saying, well, wait a second. You guys are shutting the government down now over health care when you said this years ago. And listen to the boy, this guy is probably very dizzy after this answer.
But you have been critical in the past of the tactic of choosing to shut down the government. You were in 2018. You were back in 2013 when it was a discussion over health care. This is what you said in 2018.
The future of the American healthcare system was a legitimate public policy issue, as is the security of our borders. But we shouldn't be having the discussion amidst a government shutdown, trying to use our nation's security and all of these federal workers and the work that they do as hostages.
Aren't you doing today exactly what you were criticizing then?
No, that was a fight over sort of the long-term structure of the American healthcare system. This is an emergency.
You know, they did the same thing on CNN, and this was a clip that I played on my award-winning show Saturday Night on the Circle, which you can hear 7 to 9 every Saturday night, where they confronted Chuck Schumer with his own statements about keeping the government open, about the importance of not shutting down the government, and they're forcing these people to run against their own words. None of these politicians mean it. They don't have a principled bone in their body, and it's hilarious just to watch them get caught in the trap of their own words.
All right, one more clip here before we move off of this. I just don't think this is that interesting to most people. Now, I understand there are people who are being affected, people being laid off, furloughed, whatever. I'm not trying to diminish that and how that's impacting those people's lives. I'm not saying no one is being impacted by this, but I just think collectively, in terms of a country of 340 million people, there's just not enough happening where people are going, this has piqued my interest, because it really isn't affecting them.
Yeah, if you're outside the universe of the federal government, then minimal impact on your daily life.
The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he made the rounds over the weekend. He had this to say about keeping the government open and paying the troops.
We have voted 8 times to pay the troops, pay TSA agents, Border Patrol agents, you know, everybody serving in the federal government, and to make sure these services are provided for veterans and the elderly disabled who need them so much. 8 times now, Democrats in Congress have voted to close the government. We're on day 10. It's real pain for real people, and they seem not to care.
This is where we're at in our country, where Republicans are now fine with Biden's spending levels, and the Democrats say Biden's spending levels are not enough.
Everything's flip-flopped. There is a limited time opportunity, Rob, though, for us to make some profit from this federal government shutdown. I'm not sure if you saw the reporting from Jacob Stewart on the Indy Star. The Federal Trade Commission is down, and they are not accepting reports on fraud in your stock trade, so we can engage in some insider trading, just like Shreve or Nancy Pelosi, and get rich off this for a limited time opportunity. While the government is shut down, the FTC is not taking reports. So insider trade, just go right on ahead with it.
You too can live like a congressman. All right, when we come back, fascinating report this morning in the Indy Star. Tony Cook writing a big expose on Joe Hogsett, Thomas Carl Cook, and some of the shenanigans that were allegedly going on, especially related to those two, in their administration. That this revealed, not surprising, but a lot of details about what is alleged to have happened, especially involving relationships with people who were decision makers. We'll talk about that next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
You've got your whole life ahead of you.
So choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
His staff is calling it a pivotal moment for the entire region. Mostly sunny and 59 degrees in the Circle City. Some portions of Indiana under a dense fog advisory. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. President Trump's supposed to attend a Mideast peace summit in Egypt. Earlier today, Hamas released all 20 remaining Israeli hostages held since October 7th of 2023. And here was the message from President Trump.
Those who seek to destroy this nation are doomed to bitter failure. The state of Israel is strong, and it will live and thrive forever.
Arrangements are being made to return the remains of 28 deceased hostages and free roughly 2,000 Palestinian detainees. Trump calling today the historic dawn of a new Middle East. Congress is supposed to get back to work tomorrow to vote on a spending bill to end the government shutdown that's been going on since the start of the month. Facilities all around the country are having to close because of the shutdown. Pope Leo urging every Catholic parish to participate in World Mission Sunday, and that is held on the second to last Sunday of October every year. Pope Leo recalls how that day enables and sustains the good work of missionaries worldwide, just like he saw firsthand while serving in Peru. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Look, switching point of sale systems is a total nightmare, right? But here's the thing. Shopify POS makes switching easier. A Shopify POS expert, a real human being, helps with setup and data migration. No need to be your own tech support, because with Shopify POS, you get support for free. You'll also get a free card reader and 25% off POS subscription fees. Switching your POS is easier with Shopify. Eligibility requirements apply. To learn more, visit shopify.com/switch now. That's shopify.com/switch now.
Hey guys, it's Rob for our friend Mark Dietel. You know, Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried with the challenging market, you won't sell your home for the price it's worth. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Sarah in Fountain Square had to say about working with Mark Dietel. After investing in a property in Fountain Square, I ran into some financial trouble and needed to sell the place fast for max dollars. I hired the Mark Dietel team, and they were able to sell my property within weeks for over list price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
20 ribeyes for $35. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at 2 locations in Indianapolis going on now. 20 ribeyes for only $35 in the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Just look for the big truck. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Also on the big truck is cases of T-bones, fillets, New York strips, burgers, and a whole lot more. Big truck sale. Marinated chicken breasts too. Don't wait. Big steak sale at 2 different locations. In the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. 20 ribeyes for just $35. Don't wait. Everything must go. Last chance this week. Big truck sale. That's 20 ribeyes for $35. West 86th Street and Michigan Road, and the second location in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Get there before the truck is gone.
So a fascinating piece in the Indy Star today about allegations of more potential corruption in the Hogsett administration. So this was actually a joint piece. Tony Cook from the Indy Star, along with Peter Blanchard and Emily Hopkins from Mere Indy, worked on this piece together. You can read it now. It's up at the Indy Star.
Could we call it an expose?
Yeah, I think you would. And look, the Star and Mere Indy have done a great job of digging into the Hogshead administration. Now, we still don't know where he was during the riots, but as it relates to Thomas Carl Cook and the Hogshead administration's dealings with him and those two together, Thomas Carl Cook, former deputy mayor under Joe Hogshead, also the chief of staff, I believe, at one point. So this deals with Thomas Carl Cook, former, I believe he was the deputy mayor, and then he was also the chief of staff for Joe Hogshead. His dealings, primarily, it's a large article, but it deals, the meat of it is his alleged relationship with a woman by the name of Scarlett Andrews, who was in charge of the City of Indianapolis' Department of Metropolitan Development. And then she later went on to become the deputy mayor of economic development from the years 2020 to 2023. And the amount of money that got approved, taxpayer dollars and incentives that got approved after Thomas Carl Cook left the Hogshead administration. So he was a dumpster fire. Thomas Carl Cook, he also Joe Hogshead, but in this case, Thomas Carl Cook was a personal dumpster fire that is played out in terms of the allegations of inappropriate contact with women, subordinates, etc., and was basically, if you read the tea leaves, voluntold you're going to leave, and ends up with a very cushy job at a major law firm in the city of Indianapolis. And after he leaves the Hogshead administration, according to reporting from Indy Star and Mirror Indy, he starts working for this major law firm in the city of Indianapolis, and he starts working with the clients that use this law firm to work with them to get incentives and sweetheart deals with the city of Indianapolis, of which this woman, Scarlett Andrews, who Thomas Carl Cook was allegedly involved in and may still be to this day in a relationship with, was in part in charge of approving said incentives and dollars from the city of Indianapolis.
If I didn't know any better, Rob, it seems like you would be describing a conflict of interest in city government there.
I would say if you're hooking up with somebody
who's giving out the money,
who's helping give out the money, yeah, that's well, maybe, I don't know whether by the letter of the law it is or not. I'd say the average person would look at that and say that's not right. Now, according to this Mirror Indy Star investigative report, at least $80 million in public incentives went to projects with ties to Cook clients.
Including COVID money. That was the standout to me. That was never about keeping you healthy. That was never about keeping anyone safe. That was always about funneling money to government buddies.
They claim these projects include City Market, the vacant county jail on the east side of downtown, and the former Angie's List campus. And they think, this Mirror Indy Star joint reporting, say they think basically that there's more that was never reported on that he was also involved with. Now, this is a broader conversation, though, because we know what Thomas Carl Cook is and was. We know what Joe Hogshead is and was. This, while the details are very interesting and a phenomenal job of reporting by Mirror Indy and the Indy Star, this shouldn't surprise anyone because it's abundantly clear that Joe Hogshead knew about Thomas Carl Cook's blatantly inappropriate engagement with women that were his subordinates and did absolutely nothing about it, and helped him quietly not only get out of the city of Indianapolis government, but also helped him, it's believed, get this job at this major law firm. So this shouldn't surprise anybody that this stuff was taking place and that Thomas Carl Cook was allegedly engaged in a relationship with someone who was helping dole out the dollars. But it's the broader thing, the broader conversation when you say, okay, well, Democrats, right. But what about Republicans over here with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, who there were 30 conflicts of interest revealed in that forensic audit? They're doing the exact same thing. It isn't a Democrat or Republican thing. It's an abuse by people in the government thing.
Same thing happening in the Secretary of State Diego Morales' office. No bid contracts being handed out to buddies, and that's exactly what I was about to say. Note who broke the story. It was Indy Star and Mirror Indy, both rather left-leaning institutions, but in this case, they are doing the people's work by speaking the truth to power and by revealing these dirty deeds going on behind closed doors. But that begs the question, Where is the Marion County GOP on this issue? Why aren't they making political hay on this issue? For that matter, where is the statewide GOP on this issue? Why aren't they making political hay out of the hotbed of corruption that is Indianapolis city government? You already answered the question. It's because of their own dirty deeds, their own misdeeds that are going on behind closed doors that benefit their friends, the same kind of no-bid contracts, the same kind of conflicts of interest that have been revealed. And so it creates this complete impotence and inability to call out corruption that is harming you, harming the taxpayer, harming the citizens that are supposed to be, the government's representatives are supposed to represent.
I want to read just one portion of this article, and everybody should go read it because it's very well done. It's a long article. Wait till noon. We don't care what you do during Tony. Wait till noon and go read it. But I just want to read this to put this in perspective of what we're talking about. At the time, Cook was one of the city's most influential power brokers, serving as Hogsett's chief of staff and top campaign advisor. Andrews was a rising star in the city's metropolitan development department, who some saw as the next director. Quote, "You could be if that's what you wanted," Cook told her in a text message from the summer of 2020, obtained by Mirror Indy and the Indy Star. Quote, "I love you." Quote, "I love you too," she responded. So clearly, these people, I mean, I think you could probably have dropped the allegedly involved in a relationship. There was something serious going on between them. And for this not to be divulged to the public, this woman should have not have been making any decisions involving anything that Thomas Carl Cook is doing, because they're clearly in love, or at least according to the text messages obtained by Mirror Indy, which means a reasonable person will look at that and go, well, you're not going to make potentially decisions that are best for the city of Indianapolis. You're going to be heavily influenced and potentially make decisions that are best for your partner or your lover or whatever we want to call them.
And it's hard to say that the Hogsett administration didn't know about any of this, because he was good friends, close friends with Thomas Carl Cook. So how can you feign ignorance? Well, I didn't know they were in a relationship when I appointed this woman to serve in this capacity as doling out dollars. You can't say that.
And it comes back to what somebody who works in state government told me, and I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but it's true. He said the lasting legacy of COVID that will hurt the public for a very long time is that these politicians recognized we can do whatever we want, and there's almost no chance people are going to fight back. Because let's face it, there was very little actual resistance to being forced to wear a mask, to having businesses closed, to having people put out of work. All of these things that were happening, and people really didn't put up that much of a fight, and the politicians were like, well, if they're not going to fight over this, think about by comparison, relatively little things like, government corruption, conflicts of interest. We can get away with about whatever we want, and nobody's going to do a damn thing about it.
It's the citizens who perpetually receive the short end of the stick. And what makes this especially gross is that these conflicts of interest and enrichment is coming specifically at your expense.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, so Casey is not here today, obviously, but she will be here later today. She's filling in along with Jim, doing the afternoon show with Hammer and Nigel. So we'll check in with Casey when we come back. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the hostages are free. What does that mean for the United States? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. October is here, and you know what it means. The return of all things pumpkin-flavored, earlier sunsets, and chilly air seeping into your home. That is, if you've got those old, stuck, cracked windows. Ready to eliminate annoying drafts once and for all? Reach out to the experts at Window Nation. This month, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 2 more for free, and your total price includes 1-day installation. With Window Nation, you also won't have to make any payments for 2 years, which is a big deal with the holiday season coming up. Check it out at windownation.com.
Window Nation has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and that gives you the peace of mind when you're deciding on whether or not you're working with the right company. Put an end to your window problems with Window Nation. Now through October 31st, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And you don't pay anything for 2 years with Window Nation. Visit windownation.com today. That's windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indie. And this fall, if you're thinking, man, I'd like to be out and about with a little more confidence as I'm going to fall flings and football games and all points in between, maybe putting a little more hair on the top of your head is a way to do that. And that's where my guys from We Grow Hair Indie come into play. Darren and the gang, they are top notch. Here's how it works. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation estimate. And then Darren and the gang, they'll take a look at what's going on. They'll give you some suggestions. You make the choice. They tell you what might work. They tell you what it's going to cost. Ball's totally in your court. You can see some other folks who made the choice to get their confidence back by visiting WeGrowHairIndie.com. WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call today, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda of Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Well, who needs a lake when you can lease a 2026 HRV-LX all-wheel drive for $309 a month and 0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda of Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake. Visit our showroom off State Road 37 today. Tax and title fees not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. 10,000 miles a year. Not combinable with other offers. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for details.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
If you stopped paying your financial advisor, would they still be your friend? A different look at retirement planning with Greg Ayler. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Colts fans, they're on a roll, and so are we. It's the Colts Ultimate Tailgate Sunday, October 26th at noon at the Slippery Noodle. Come pregame with WIBC for the wildest party before kickoff. Drink specials, tailgate games, prizes, and nonstop Colts hype. Details at WIBC.com.
It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Ethan's in for Casey today. But speaking of Casey, she'll be filling in this afternoon as part of the Hammer and Nigel show. Casey joins us now on the WIBC hotline. Let's find out what in the world's going on in her orbit and, most importantly, what's coming up this afternoon. Casey Daniels, hello.
Hey, how are you? You know what? I'm sitting here reading that article that you guys just talked about in Indy Star about Joe Hogsett and, his old friend Thomas Carl Cook, and then Scarlett Andrews. Let's add a new name to the mix. So my takeaway, Rob, if you're not a politician, be in a romantic relationship with one.
Okay, I don't know if you knew this, Casey, but you're reading the article, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but before you make it to the end. Thomas Carl Cook's kind of a scumbag.
You think so? I don't know. his alleged I love you too friend approved, $80 million of investments for some of his clients. So seems like he's making out pretty good on that deal, huh?
Now, in fairness, I have told people ahead of me that I loved them, and they just told me, you're being very gross and weird. Don't ever say that again. So I didn't get quite the response that he got out of that.
You know what? Okay, so I want to go back to something. You guys talked to Dave Shelton at the beginning of the hour.
Yes.
And it sounded like he was trying to tell you to behave so that you could be invited to Lincoln Day dinners and such. I don't know if that landed properly with you, but that's what I took away he was trying to tell you. What? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about that for a second. So Dave Shelton is running for Secretary of State. He is the Knox County clerk. He was on our program earlier this hour. He appears to have very much flip-flopped on redistricting. He didn't really have an answer for it. Now, I do want to say before I ask you this, Casey, he did invite me to the Bloomington, I believe it was the Bloomington Lincoln Day dinner. I was invited to be his guest, and I said I wouldn't bring that harm on anyone. But it really sounds like he totally is flip-flopping, and he's getting strong-armed too.
Well, it sounds like they're all getting strong-armed, and there were a lot of people coming out after J.D. Vance's visit saying, no, I think, yeah, we should redistrict. He did bring up a good point, though, that this is a national issue. One thing he mentioned when he was talking with you guys that really stood out to me is you had said to him, hey, you got to bring the heat against Diego Morales. And he said, you know what, I just want to be boring. I want to be a generic R. And that, to me, says that he's just hoping for those straight ticket voters, and he'll just slide in under the radar with anybody who's just voting straight Republican.
Yeah, the problem with that, and I've told him, and I said it right to his face. I'm not going to say it here and then I'll say he's standing in front of me. He's too boring, and he's got to get through a convention, right? And he seems to think people know about Diego's shenanigans in the corners of the state, and I don't think they do, Casey, to the extent they need to. If you're going to win at a convention, and he thinks he can run on this government competency thing, the problem is that starts to go out. Look, if I'm Morales, I'm clipping Shelton on our show today, and I'm running that in ads saying this guy can't even make up his mind. You run on government competency. You clearly said the maps are good and we don't need redistricting. And then a month later you say, well, now we need it. And so you lose the leverage that you had.
Okay, now a couple things here. Dave Shelton, he ran against Morales in 22, fell short in the total tally there. But you're right about the boring thing. You have to get some people's attention. Now, Bo Bai, who is running for Secretary of State on the Democrat side, he has launched a TikTok account. And I've been watching some of his videos. He was at the Colts game over the weekend, and he went up to, I don't know, a dozen or so different people and asked them on camera, do you know who Diego Morales is? Every single one of them said no. They didn't know who he was. So I think you're right that a lot of people in parts of the state, they don't know who Diego Morales is. They're not aware of his shenanigans. And if David Shelton wants to, get some attention, he needs to be tougher. He mentioned that he does most of his talking on Facebook. He has an X account. He's not quite as involved. Clearly, he's not going to have a TikTok account. I don't think Diego does either. It's hard for these state people to have the TikTok account because they're not allowed to have it on their state phone. But somebody like Bo Bai, he's going to make inroads with that. He's going to get some people's attention who are on that platform, and he's going to bring attention to, what Diego's been doing in some parts of the state where WIBC is not heard.
Where do you think Bo Bai's seats were at the Colts game? You think he was up in section 600 with a dog and a beer? Like, what do you think? Where do you think Bo Bai's seats were at the Colts game?
You know what? He was probably on the field. He probably walked in and said, do you know who I am? I'm Bo Bai.
Hey,
son of Evan Bai.
Congrats to you. You got the Notre Dame game right. We've started letting Casey bet the Degenerates Next Door picks for me. You were one win, one loss on the weekend, which is fine. I still remain in first place in the college football rankings on our show. But you did get the Notre Dame game right. So I want you to start thinking. Tomorrow, I'm going to let you keep making the Notre Dame picks until you get one wrong. You're 2 for 2. The spread is 7.5 against USC this weekend, Casey.
Yeah, you can put Notre Dame for a win on that one as well, and a big win, perhaps. I do know my Notre Dame, having lived in South Bend for 25 years, But I will admit, I was wrong about IU. I was happy to be wrong about IU because, like we always say, even if you bet against them and they win, we still win. And how fantastic is that for the great state of Indiana? I mean, just think of us being the sports capital of the country. You've got IU dominating. You got Notre Dame still ranked 13. A lot of people questioning that ranking, but I'll take it. You got the Colts winning. Of course, the Pacers, the Fever, Swim City, USA, gymnastics headquarters. I mean, if you are a sports fan, man, this is the place to be.
All right, so you are doing the afternoon show. You're in for Hammer and Nigel along with your husband, Jim, this afternoon. What will you be talking about?
Well, it is Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford is going to join us. In California, Gavin Newsom signed AB 1127, which prohibits firearm dealers from selling Glocks and Glock platform pistols. So I believe that Guy Relford is going to say something like, "We'll see you in court." We're also going to do a round of Katy Perry and Scary Harry Mary.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Casey and Jim in for Hammer and Nigel this afternoon, 3 to 7. Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, stick around. A lot more on the way. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
It's Terry Stacy, and not too many locally owned businesses in central Indiana have been around 80 years. But Cardwell Do It Best on the south side has stood the test of time. Congratulations to Jeff Cardwell and Cardwell Do It Best, recently named 2025 Member of the Year by Do It Best. Autumn brings about whole new to-do lists, and Cardwell Do It Best has everything you need and even stuff you didn't know you needed, like extra keys. They make keys, including programmable keys and key fobs. Cardwell is your discount roofing headquarters, featuring dimensional roofing as low as $21 per bundle. And for the yard, find a full line of trusted lawn and garden products and Milwaukee M18 fuel cordless power tools. Come celebrate 80 years strong at Cardwell Do It Best. Locally owned, community trusted, and always ready to help you do it best. 3205 Madison Avenue. Shop online where you'll find over 67,000 products with free shipping at CardwellHomeCenter.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numbness, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Matt Schulke, chiropractic neurologist and board certified in neuropathy. What is neuropathy?
Neuropathy is nerve damage in the feet or hands.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
Absolutely, and we get amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, pain, or balance issues, call Dr. Schulke today for a free nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their specialized treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call 463-400-3338. Act now. Call 463-400-3338 for your free nerve damage screening. 463-400-3338.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Jim Scott says his company has grown to the size it is now by putting the customer first.
It took us 5 years to be bigger than I ever thought we would, and then 10 years to really be, wow, it's huge. But our customers got us here. They're loyal customers. They like what we do, and they like what we offer.
If you're in Boone or Hamilton County, just go to jimsheating-air.com. For Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Transform your backyard this fall with Indie Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor furniture set with their best stamped concrete patio package. Hurry, offer ends November 1st. Visit IndieDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
Your local news, traffic, and weather all coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 11 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A peace summit in Egypt. I'm Dave Anthony, and President Trump will be there after Hamas released the final living hostages from Gaza.
You see the enthusiasm really beyond Israel all over the world. I've never seen anything like it. And I think it just means peace for the Middle East.
Before flying to Egypt, where the president has just landed and is now speaking, he told Fox's Trey Yingst the Israeli and American attacks on Iran's nuclear program were a big factor.
You couldn't have made this deal if somebody's sitting over there with a nuclear weapon over your head.
He also talked about this very important summit that's taking place tonight in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. He's brought together some of the world's most influential people that have the funds that can ultimately implement the ideas and projects that the president has. And he wanted to make clear in the course of our interview that the Gaza ceasefire is just the first step.
Now, earlier today, the president addressed Israel's parliament.
This is the end of an age of terror and death and the beginning of the age of faith and hope and of God.
Fox's Steve Harrigan's also in Jerusalem.
People across the country have been watching the images that they've been really waiting 2 years desperately to see, and that is of reunions of former hostages with their family members. Many of these reunions taking place in hospitals. It was a real process to release these 20 alive.
But so far, Hamas is only handing over 4 bodies of the 28 dead hostages they had.
Also, Palestinians being released as part of this deal, as many as 2,000 prisoners, 250 of them serving life terms in prison, many for multiple homicides.
In his address to Israeli lawmakers about stopping the fighting in Gaza, the president said it's a shame that Russia's war rages on in Ukraine, and that continues as the Russian president has warned against the United States offering Tomahawk missiles, advanced weapons to help Ukraine, calling it a serious escalation. The president says he's considering it. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's supposed to accompany this October warmth? Some places in Indiana under a dense fog advisory. It's also sunny and 59 on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 11:02. High temperatures will be in the 70s throughout Indiana.
But it will remain dry throughout the week and may see some additional clouds Tuesday night into Wednesday. Otherwise, going to be a relatively quiet week.
Mike Ryan with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis believes that will change this weekend when rain is supposed to move in, and there could be some storms with it. He says drought conditions are also supposed to continue. The Indiana gas average is at $2.84 a gallon on average this morning, according to AAA. That's down almost 30 cents from this time last week. A truck driver hit a man this morning on the south side of Indianapolis at the intersection of Raymond and Shelby Streets. IMPD says after the man was hit by the driver, he left the scene briefly, but then came back and has since been cooperating with police. The man was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. After being in the hospital for about a week, former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was released. Jake McDaniel reports.
Not only was he released, but he was also taken to the Marion County Jail on Sunday. Sanchez was taken to a hospital after he was stabbed many times in the torso on October 4th in downtown Indianapolis. He was initially arrested on 3 misdemeanor charges, and Indy Metro Police released a booking photo of him. He is set to appear in court next month to face charges, including battery with injury. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More than 300 chefs from around the world are competing for nearly $500,000 at the World Food Championships in Indianapolis this week. Larry Dickerson is the founder of Culinary Crossroads. He spoke to Gary Dick of Inside Indiana Business about it this weekend.
This goes all the way back to 2018, 2019, working with then Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch and talking about some different approaches for tourism promotion. And the idea is that if you could create a narrative that was built around culinary.
The World Food Championships kick off this Thursday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, and they run through Sunday. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 11:04. Rob and Ethan coming back in 1 minute.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIPC.
So people think the government has too much power, but it really kind of depends on if it's the government they like. Let's make some sense of it. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's in this afternoon for Hammer and Nigel. Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle in for Casey. And by the way, coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to take a huge show risk. We're going to turn the show over to you, the listeners. We're going to get some of your phone calls on how you're feeling about redistricting. I want to know, does it matter to you? Is it something that's a priority to you? If it is a priority for you, how do you feel about it one way or another? I thought that'd be interesting to try to get a sort of a gauge because the public polling is overwhelmingly against it, but also recognize it may not be a exact reflection of our audience. So we'll tee that up for you here in just a little bit and take your phone calls. But first, new poll out. This was Gallup, pretty well-known, respected polling institution. Says that The Hill, by the way, has the full article on this. That 62%, that's a record number of Americans, say the federal government has too much power, the highest since the tracking began in 2001. That is up dramatically, Ethan, from just last year, where 51% said they believed the federal government had too much power. Now, I'm floored that as of last year, just 51% of the public thought the federal government had too much power. What's interesting about this, though, is how the percentages change based on who's in office.
Well, that tells all the story there.
So, among Democrats, for example, last year it was 25%. This year, it's 66%. Among Republicans, last year, it was 75%. This year, 58%.
Fascinating.
And this is the problem with everything, is that there are so many people in this country. Look, there are some people who, and a lot of people, and many people hearing our voice right now, who blatantly get it. The federal government is evil. Government, by design, is a never-ending, essentially, game of Pac-Man that just eats everything it comes into contact with. The government itself, by its inception, is awful, and it won't matter which one of these parties is in power. They're going to take as much from you as they can and can get away with. But there are so many people, Ethan, in this country who still, for whatever reason, despite getting screwed by both of these parties over and over and over again, they still see it as some sort of white hat, black hat thing where it's just who's in power, not what they're actually doing.
The way that I see it, this is a byproduct of treating politics as team sport, which is really something that only evolved in the 21st century. It started with the year 2000 election, George Bush versus Al Gore, and it was the first time that most news stations began coloring their electoral map with red and blue, red for Republicans and blue for Democrat. It didn't really exist in the 1990s. Before, when they would put election maps up on the screen, it was kind of a free-for-all what the color scheme was. And this was just a way of introducing a visual shorthand in journalism to help people understand what was going on in elections. And putting things in terms that people are able to understand is ordinarily a very commendable task. However, the byproduct of those colors colors has now put into people's minds that politics is a team sport. It's red team versus blue team. And just like in sports, you always cheer for your team, right or wrong, but that's not beneficial in politics.
Well,
you can do that in sports. You can't do that in politics.
Well, and so it comes back to, we talk about this all the time on the local level, and obviously, other than outside the city of Indianapolis, the state is almost exclusively run by Republicans. So we spend, especially at a state level, time talking about Republicans. And it comes back to this argument on something like redistricting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this is going to get you? Why are you cheering for this? They can't win it by governing. So now they're just going to change the map so that they can win with bad behavior. And because so many people just instinctively say red good, blue bad, when the reality is blue is bad. Nobody's saying blue's good. We're also telling you red's bad, and you shouldn't just hand a freebie over to red because red screws you every time as well.
And yeah, exactly. Look at the way that it's infected our mindset when it's come even to local politics. Now it's red states and blue states. And yeah, we're a red state, but we want to be an even deeper red state. And those terms just didn't exist pre-21st century. That mode of thinking didn't exist.
So how do you break it? That's the thing that I struggle with is how do you
got to take politics out of mainstream. Give it back to the province of the nerds. It was much better. See, I used to cheer when I was a teenager, like, oh, yeah, of course. It just seemed like common sense. Of course, everybody needs to be participating in this great American system that we have. More people should be participating in democracy. And then politics became overwhelming, and it infected every aspect of life, cultural conversations. It's on the Twitter sphere, on your Facebook. You can't get away from it. And more importantly, you got a lot of people who have low investment in politics, but their vote counts the same as yours. We need to take this out of the mainstream and give it back to the nerds.
Yeah, because I've struggled with this the whole time I've been here, which is how do you break the stranglehold? And the stranglehold is true for both parties. I mean, there's nothing about Indianapolis where you would say, wow, that's going so well that we want more of that. And yet Democrats keep winning the prosecutor's race, the mayor's race. They control the city council. Extrapolate it out to statewide. There's nothing the Republicans are doing that you would say, man, this is so good. Give us more of that. I can't wait to go vote for that. And yet they have so trained these people who choose to participate that you got to pick one of these sides. I've struggled with this for 9 years. I am at the point now where I'm not sure you can break this system anymore. I think we're just kind of stuck with it.
Now, Rob, Indianapolis isn't a total abject failure. Didn't you see DPW announce they finished their Dig Indy project that they've been working on for the better part of the last decade? Something like 20 miles of new tunnels spanning across the city.
Oh.
Yeah, so we did something.
Yeah, you did something.
We did something.
All right, so why don't we do this? I would like to hear from you about how you're feeling about redistricting. One, are you passionate about it? Are you fired up about it? Is it something that is going to drive you? And two, what do you want? The Republicans, many of them have admitted the maps are already fair, that they were drawn very well. Do you want them to change that? What do you want to do? Let's open it up. 317-239-9393 is the phone number. 317-239-9393. We will take a huge career risk and open the program up to you. Don't let us down. It's going to be a huge risk. We'll do it next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Kendall and Casey.
This comes at a time where people are very concerned, and rightfully so, about skyrocketing utility rates. And BlackRock is in the money-making business. They're not in the better life for you business. Somebody better do something fast. Or if you think utility rates are bad now, get ready, pal.
No problem. You know how good the legislature is about passing bills for the residents.
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
It's time time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's Booher, BoerRemodeling.com.
Transform your backyard this fall with Indie Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor furniture set with our best stamped concrete patio package. Create the perfect space for cozy outdoor hangouts. Hurry, this offer ends November 1st. Visit IndieDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
All right, let's get your thoughts on redistricting. We've seen the polling, we've heard the politicians. I'm curious to hear from you. 317-239-9393. I want to know, are you fired up about it? Are you passionate about it? Is it something that drives you, and how do you feel about it? And let's go to one of the great listeners right out of the gate of the Kendall and Casey Show, Southside Tom. Tom, before we get your thoughts, thank you for the Arby's and Burger King coupons. I've been saving a fortune thanks to you and your lovely wife.
Hey, that's the main thing, because you work in radio, and an old broadcasting pro like me knows that you don't make any money working broadcasting.
I wouldn't have been eating any lunch the past 3 weeks. But Tom sent me a portfolio. I don't know if he's stealing them out of his neighbor's mailboxes or what, but it was like a binder of Arby's coupons.
Don't tell. I don't want the postal authorities after me. Okay, Rob?
All right.
Let's keep it level there.
Tom, the floor is yours. Redistricting. What are you thinking?
Okay, real quickly, we took a mini vacation. We were down in Jasper, Indiana, among other places this past weekend. You ask people about the governor down there, they shrug. I guess they're not too keen on their favorite son down there. And the one thing they'll say is they got to do something about property taxes. So where you reach far and wide with WIBC, obviously you're permeating the southern part of the state as well. So
excellent.
They know. As for the idea of redistricting and all that, what did you mention a while back? We're spending almost $500,000 to do this.
Yeah, that's
Can't
right. That's the estimate.
Can't they waste their money on something more useful? Like maybe, yes, they don't like talking about it in the afternoon. Property taxes?
Yeah.
So mark my vote down is I'm against it. Just leave things the way they are and let the voters decide, and quit using us as your piggy bank.
All right, Tom, you're the best. Thank you. All right, let's go to Larry. Larry, welcome to the Kendall and Casey Show. How do you feel about redistricting?
Hey, if I'm in the Republican Party here in the state of Indiana, and somebody asks me how many congressional seats do you want, you know what I'm going to say?
What?
As many as I can get. That's what they need to do. Politics is a blood sport. They need to take every seat so they can have consistency in their government, in our government, and that's what we need. We need as many as we can get.
Consistency out of Republicans? You got to be kidding
That's
me.
right. Hey, look, I don't want anything to do with Democrats because we know what they're all about. I've been at the State House for 40 years, and they're the party of disaster, and all the legislation that they've pushed on this state over the years have been nothing but degrading and just an imposition on our state that has destroyed us. Other than Mitch Daniels, the Republicans have been shooting pretty straight, but we need to get all the seats.
All right, Larry,
That's what
thank
we
you, my
need to
friend.
do.
Appreciate you listening. Thank you. All right, Kev, who's next?
Did he say other than Mitch Daniels?
I think so. We love Larry. Kev, who's next?
Yeah, up next we got Mike from Avon.
Mike from Avon. Sorry about your school referendum, Mike. We're doing what we can to help you out there. What's going on?
Oh, I can't stand it. I want to get a sign and just put a big X in it in my yard. But the redistricting, I'm just like the last guy. I'm tired of the Democrats just bullying us constantly. And I really don't have a lot more to say about it other than, Rob,
yes.
You were talking about the difference in Republicans and Democrats. Okay, if you have one group that has an idea to raise your taxes and another group that has an idea to raise your taxes, and then you have the same one of the two groups that want to cut off boys' penises, and then another group that does not want to cut off boys' penises, which group would you vote for?
So your argument is you recognize I'm going to get another Jefferson Shreve and he's going to be completely worthless, but the other side is so bad. It's not that the Republicans are good. It's the other side is so bad.
Well, it's a worldview thing. That's what we're fighting here. We're fighting a worldview. We're not really fighting individual politics and individual policy right now.
But okay.
We're fighting. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you, so a guy like a Jefferson Shreve, because, again, we have to accept that when we're talking two more Republicans, that's who we're talking about getting. Yeah. That's who the Republicans are going to give you. This guy was for taking all of your guns, if he could get away with it, until it became politically expedient for him not to do that when he ran for Congress, depending on what office he was going to run for. So how do you trust these people that they are going to continue to share your worldview?
You're exactly right. But I know I have eyes, and I've seen what's been going on for many, many years. So I trust my gut and think, okay, Shreve may just be somehow, some way trying to get elected, and then he'll change. Now that sounds really odd and weird, but hey, we're in an odd and weird state in our country and state and our state right now. So. At least he's not. Well, he did during the election. He told me he wanted to take my guns, but most of the Democrats just tell you flat that they're socialists, that they can't stand our country, they can't stand people that are legal, they can't stand my kids, my wife, me. So yeah, you're right. But we don't live in a perfect, well-rounded world. So I still have the thought to take the chance on one individual that has an issue compared to a whole group that has the mindset of the worldview that wants to just destroy Western civilization.
Mike, thank you for your call. Before we go to the next caller, Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for you real quick, Mike. Why wouldn't I? Because I agree with you. You know, child genital mutilation is a line in the sand. But why wouldn't you fight that at the ballot box? Why are Marion County Republicans in particular so incapable of finding a representative to voice opposition to those ideas that instead of fighting it at the ballot box, they got to go circumvent the process through redistricting?
Well, I just used an example, first of all, for lopping a boy's penis off. The thing that I want to happen is I want to see the Democrats lose. I want to see that worldview lose. They have been taking advantage of us for years and years and years and years. We have an opportunity now to get back I'm not going to say power because, which I'm not a power hungry, but I know politicians are, but let's just say power. We have a chance to get more power back. And anything I can do to see Andre Carson have to fight to get a vote, I would love that.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. Kev, who's up next?
We have Mike from Greenwood.
Another Mike. Mike from Greenwood. Hello. How you feeling about redistricting?
Oh, I think it's stupid. I mean, what is people afraid of? The Republicans are running scared because they might lose one district when they got a supermajority in the Senate, in the House anyway. What's the deal with it?
Do you worry that if you just hand Republicans another seat that the governance is going to get worse because they feel like no matter what they do, they'll just be able to keep the seat?
It makes no difference to me what they do with it because, I mean, I'm a Democrat in a state full of Republicans, so nothing I ever want to have happen is going to happen here anyway.
Very good. Mike from Greenwood, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Kev, who's up next?
We have Douglas from Warsaw.
Doug from Warsaw. How's it going, my man? You're on the Kendall and Casey show. How you feel about redistricting?
I'm sorry, I thought you said Warsaw. It's Mooresville.
Mooresville. Very good. Even better. The home of John Dillinger. Yes, very good.
And Bluebird
That's
Cafeteria.
All right, what's going on, my man?
Yeah, I'm a center-right independent who it's safe to say for the last 18 years I've voted almost straight Republican, just out of common sense and decency. When it comes to the redistricting, I'm kind of on the fence with it. I mean, I agree with what a lot of our leaders are saying, that we've got pretty good lines drawn now, and I just don't really see how it's going to benefit us as a state, because that's what we're talking about here, basically. I mean, I understand the protocol of wanting to follow your president, but I just, in the end of the day, I think it's a waste of time and money.
All right. Very good, Mike. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to the program. Kev, who's next?
We have Randy from Bloomington.
Randy from Bloomington. Before we get to that, I want to thank Kev. He's doing like 9 things over there at once because we're on a radio station budget. So he's doing an MVP job over there, answering the phones, telling us who's next. All right, Randy from Bloomington, you're on the program. Hello, how do you feel about redistricting?
Well, it's not too complicated. The way I'm looking at it is that if the Democrats gain control of the House, they are going to spend 2 years, 2026 on, to impeach Donald Trump. They did it before Donald Trump's first term. They will not do anything for the constituents of their district or their state. They will spend literally 2 years to impeach Donald Trump and stop every bill and program he wants to put forth. And it's that simple with me in my thinking of redistricting to get more congressional seats for the Republicans.
All right, very good. Randy, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Kev, who's up next?
We have Kevin from Brownsburg.
Kevin from Brownsburg, you poor man. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Mr. Rob, it's Kevin.
Kevin, what's going on, man?
I'm just out here doing the normal stuff every day.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Kevin, we've had Kevin on our show before. Kevin is closing in on having visited every city and town in the state of Indiana. How many counties are you down to now, Kevin?
I'm down glass, so
excellent.
Done.
All right. When you get done, we'll have you back on. How are you feeling about redistricting, brother?
I don't like it. But if there's no stricter laws governing it, and one side is doing it, you have to let the other side do the same thing. But I don't know what kind of laws you could have to make it fair. It's kind of a scratch your head thing. How do you do that? But I don't like it.
All right, very good, my man. Thanks, Kevin. We love you. Appreciate you. All right, we got time for, let's do 2 more calls before I got to get you a break. Kev, who's up next? Oh,
was that it?
Is that it? Are we done?
We ran out. Everybody,
there's restricted.
They got bored with the
Okay,
redistricting conversation.
I want to put a right now. Hang on, before we do that though. Right now, I've got it at a 4-3 tally. 4 against, 3 for. Right, and so I think that's very interesting that the WIBC audience, which would tend to be a more right audience, and whether it was 4-4 or 3 against, you're just not seeing an overwhelming flood of support, even among what I think you would describe as a right audience for the act of redistricting.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great unanimity, and I think we did a pretty good job of getting the spectrum of views put out there.
All right, Kev, we good? We got 2 more calls?
We got Mike from Carmel up next.
All right, with third Mike of the day. Mike, and Mike. Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, good morning. So I guess I'm looking at this a little different way. I think this is nothing but negotiation for Trump. I think he knows that what the Democrats have been doing the last decade or more is a joke, and the only way you're going to get that ground back is do the same thing, play by their rules, and then maybe at the end of the day can say, okay, this is really stupid. We need to have a consistent way across the country that we do this, and everybody plays by the same rules. So I think it's just an opportunity for the Republicans to try to neutralize what the Democrats have done. So I guess that puts me right down the middle. I'm straddling the fence. How do you like that? Keep the tie going.
Perfect. Very good. All right, last call. You guys have been awesome. Kev, who do we have?
Yeah, we have Chuck from Seymour.
Chuck from Seymour. What's going on, man?
Rob, this is going to suck because I'm in bad out here.
Chuck, I'm having trouble hearing you, man. You got a lot going on in the background there, brother.
Sorry about that, brother. I do want to talk to you.
Okay, well, call back when you got less going on in the background. Kev, we'll let somebody else break the tie.
I don't know who this is.
Well, we'll wing it. Who are you and what do you want?
Mystery caller.
Go ahead. You're on the air. Oh, and there's nobody there. It ends in a tie. There you go. How about that? It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Progress to end the government shutdown, moving slowly. I'm John Herrick, and this report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Charles Davis is a furloughed government employee who says he wants lawmakers to reach an agreement so he can get back to work.
I am the primary source of income for my household. So to cut out, 60% of our gross income is significant.
The Senate has held 7 votes on Democratic and Republican plans for short-term funding, but all have failed. Senators won't be back for another try until tomorrow. President Trump is attending a Middle East peace summit in Egypt, and he says Egypt played a very important part in the peace process between Israel and Hamas. And the NHL is celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving today with 10 games to be played. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
So October is here. I've got peace of mind with my Window Nation windows that the hot air is going to stay in my house and the cold air is going to stay out. You can eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with top quality replacement windows from Window Nation, just like I did. And they got an awesome deal right now going on at windownation.com.
Window Nation has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they send the best of the best out to your house. All of their experts have multiple years experience, and Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty. So schedule a fast and free estimate right now with Window Nation. And now through October 31st, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And you don't pay anything for 2 years. 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Hey, guys, it's Rob for Life Church. You know, we love Life Church. We go to the Eagle Creek campus, but the great thing about Life Church is they have 4 campuses across central Indiana: Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Plus, they've got awesome online services, and they would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family, show you what they are all about. Like I said, it's super easy. 4 campuses across central Indiana: Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Awesome online services, so you can try it out from the comfort of your own living room. Learn more about it all on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Every day, you're giving yourself to others. Whether it's soccer practice, work demands, or meal planning for the fam, life just keeps going. But an extraordinary life is the one you keep loving and living. 1 in 8 women will face breast cancer in her lifetime. Age 40 or older? Visit franciscanhealth.org/breastcare to schedule your mammogram online. And don't let the ordinary get in the way of your extraordinary life.
20 ribeyes for $35. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at 2 locations in Indianapolis going on now. 20 ribeyes for only $35 in the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Just look for the big truck. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Also on the big truck is cases of T-bones, fillets, New York strips, burgers, and a whole lot more. Big truck sale. Marinated chicken breasts too. Don't wait. Big steak sale at 2 different locations. In the Hardee's parking lot near Walmart at West 86th Street and Michigan Road. Also in the Hardee's lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. 20 ribeyes for just $35. Don't wait. Everything must go. Last chance this week. Big truck sale. That's 20 ribeyes for $35. West 86th Street and Michigan Road, and the second location in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Franklin Road and Pendleton Pike. Get there before the truck is gone.
Planning for retirement? It's a little like marriage. We have no idea what we're getting into. Tune in to Fire Your Financial Advisor, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Okay, so that was a very interesting exercise, and I got exactly what I wanted to get out of it. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Ethan's in for Casey. Casey and Jim will be in for Hammer and Nigel this afternoon. So we took calls last segment, a lot of calls. We love you guys. We don't do that a whole lot, but you guys always come through, and we appreciate everybody who waited on hold and called in. And I know we ended up leaving some people on hold, and sorry about that. But about redistricting, and I said, look, I want to know, are you fired up about it? And, how do you feel about it? And so there was 2 things, I think we touched on this very briefly. Number one that stood out, and the Democrats. Look, if you are a Democrat, you need to listen to this. I implore you to listen to what we're about to talk about here. The first thing that's obvious is that our audience, which is, look, if any audience is going to be right or going to be Republican, it's going to be our audience in central Indiana. But Ethan, even our audience, you recognize from what they're saying, even the people who are for redistricting, there's no love for the Republicans. Yeah. People that are for it are not for it because they say, give me more Republican. The people who are for it are saying, I know what the Republicans are. I agree with you, Rob, on what you're saying or say every day about these Republicans. I just know what the Democrats are, and it's even worse.
So this is connecting to the conversation that we began the show with, being that the Indiana voter is looking at the Democrat Party and asking, why can't you just be normal? And if they were, they might win a couple elections here. It might be more competitive instead of the strict Republican supermajority that we have. But they've been so invested primarily on social issues that are utterly alienated from the average Hoosier.
Yeah, and so when you extrapolate that out to elections, this is obviously an issue. It's not an election, but I think people sort of feel the same way. They're giving the Democrats the blueprint for how to win elections, which is just run on things people care about. The problem is, what got all the publicity in the protest at the J.D. Vance thing the other day? 2 women sitting on a couch saying the couch is from Antifa. Like, that's the publicity. Yes, that was the WIBC. A whole bunch of people film that. Like, that's what people see, and they go, I'm not for this redistricting thing. I know what the Republicans are doing, but look at what the opposition is. Look at what I have to consider on the other side. And so if you're a Beau Bye, you have a great chance to be the Secretary of State, but not if you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of crazy people, by a bunch of people who are viewed as unserious, or in some cases, some of our audience views them as dangerous individuals, they're not going to vote for you. And until the Democrats, and you heard it from our audience, until the Democrats can figure out a way to at the very least, take these insane voices in their party and put them in a corner and say, enough of you, you don't represent us. And until the leadership will do that, you're going to see people keep giving in to the Republicans, knowing what they are, because they just can't fathom what it's going to look like if the other side is in charge.
The Democrats have really boxed themselves in by wedding themselves to a group of outright lunatics. And I guess we can say at least the protesters who showed up to J.D. Vance weren't all naked like the anti-ICE protest in Portland, where they had a die-in of a bunch of naked hoodlums lying in the street. It's nuts.
Yeah, so I just thought that was a very interesting exercise, because what did it show us? It was tied, right? So the best the Republicans could do on, I mean, look, we have a lot of Democrats and independents that listen to our show, especially because we're very different from everybody else. But on the kind of Republican radio station, the best they can do, or the audience that leans certainly more Republican, the best they can do is 50-50. That shows you there's no passion for this. Certainly, if that's all you can get here, it's not going to be as strong anywhere else. And so there is no passion for this. People aren't fired up about it. But until the Democrats give the Republicans something to be afraid of, which is, well, if we do things people don't like, then we might lose elections, they're going to keep doing what they want to do. And this is true, and it worked out perfectly. And I was so happy that it worked out exactly how I thought it was going to happen. They do this on taxes. They do this on the crony capitalism. They do this, look at CIEDC. They do this on growth of government, legalized vote buying. The Republicans do this on all this stuff because they say, what can we do about it? People aren't going to vote for the Democrats, so we'll do whatever we want to do.
I think the reason, or the fact that you couldn't do better than 50% even on a heavily Republican-leaning station like WIBC is part of the reason why, what do you call them, the Flanders boys, Rod and Todd?
Rod and
Todd over at the State House. That's why they're not particularly enthusiastic about doing Trump and Vance bidding here.
So the question is, because we're going to have the guy from Independent Indiana on tomorrow, because they did this poll, and apparently they got a bunch more stuff coming out tomorrow on this poll. And by the way, they used a traditionally Republican pollster to do the poll, which showed people are against this. Is there a lane for somebody else? Because if the Democrats aren't going to get it together, and people are saying, I don't want the Republicans, is there actually a lane for somebody running as an independent, or people starting to run as independents on a more conservative type of platform? Does that potentially exist out there if neither side is giving the people what they want?
Rob,
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I've been waiting for libertarians to have their moment.
I'm not talking about
for
libertarians.
Decade,
They're a
man.
lost cause. I'm sorry, Ethan. They had their chance. We're done with the libertarians. We got to find some way else to make this work. I don't know. That seems like a very heavy lift. Although I think
if it's not a Democrat and it's not a libertarian, who's it going to be? Who has the organization on the ground level to make that happen?
Well, I think I could do it with $10 million.
Okay,
I think $10 million. If we can find someone,
where's our finance daddy? We need a finance daddy, Rob.
I have alienated all the rich friends, Ethan. I've alienated all the rich friends. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, a politician got very mad at me, blocked me, then proceeded to badmouth me. Let's make some sense of it when we come back.
Sounds
People
good.
love this. People love when we do this. We'll talk about it next. We'll name some names. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
It's Casey Daniels filling in on the Hammer and Nigel show. We're going to recap the weekend on Monday, see what happened, and also it's Monday Gun Day, that and so much more. It's 93 WIBC.
Fall in Indiana is prep season, the smart time to get your home ready before the temperatures drop and the snow gets here. Because here's the truth. Roof, siding, gutter, and window problems don't fix themselves. One missing shingle turns into a bad leak. Clogged gutters lead to ice dams. And drafty siding or bad insulation means sky-high heating bills all winter long. That's why you need Moss Roofing. Family owned right here in Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you a free, no-obligation inspection. They'll spot problems now, before the cold settles in, so you're not scrambling in January. And here's a bonus. this. Thanks to new energy tax credits and Indiana Energy Saver rebates, you could save big on insulation and efficiency upgrades. That's money back in your pocket while protecting your home. So don't wait. Call Moss Roofing today at 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at mossroofing.com. Get your home winter ready this fall with people you can trust. mossroofing.com, every shingle time.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Now, it's warm right now, but cold weather right around the corner. And this winter, you don't want to spend the next several months in a cold, drafty home. New windows, that could be the ticket. And right now, if you're thinking about upgrading the windows in your home, Universal Windows Direct says it's the time to strike. Listen to this deal. First of all, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free, no limit. Then on top of that, 0% interest for 3 full years. And last but certainly not least, get an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project. So let's review. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. 0% interest for 3 full years, and an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details and schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
Subject to credit approval. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete offer details. Offer ends 10/31/2025.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Dancing with the Stars Wednesday, February 25th at Old National Center.
In my dreams,
up our program today trying to make some sense of humanity. Could be a fool's errand? Let's give it a shot. Kendall Casey Show. Rob Casey's out today. Ethan Hatcher, host of Saturday Night on the Circle, in Casey's place. Ethan, I've thought a lot about this recently. You may have heard I was banned from the Hendricks County Lincoln Day dinner.
I recall hearing a thing or two about that. That was pretty funny.
And look, like it doesn't bother me. It's a, don't get mad, get even type approach with this stuff, and that's fine. But now I've been blocked by a known Republican candidate for public office, and we got to dig into what's going on here, because you are aware of this person in question, and
yes.
I thought, well,
they're running for Secretary of State, as a matter of fact.
That's right. So Jamie Rittenauer, you may remember her. She ran for governor.
I remember her well.
She was doing horribly in all the polls, so bad, in fact, that the TV refused to let her debate. I felt sorry for her. We let her come on, and because, no one is more pro-woman than our program. And I felt bad that they were leaving her off the stage. And I said, okay, because you're doing so poorly, and that's kind of embarrassing, you still should be allowed to debate. I'll let you come in and do an hour debate with me on the air. We gave her time. Nobody else would give her time like that, and we did. And as a result, she got quite a few votes. She actually ended up beating Curtis Hill. She got 4th out of the 5 people running on the Republican side.
An hour is a pretty sizable chunk out of any radio show, so that is a very generous give.
Right, and look, she's very boring, but we felt compelled to give her the time because we think people should be allowed to speak. And you're right, she had given some big speech about how God had told her to not only run for governor, that she was going to be the governor, and I don't pretend to know who the Lord speaks to or what he says, but clearly the intention was not this most recent time. And you would think if that were what you were being told, you would maybe run for that again. However, she suddenly very quickly pivoted to, now I'm going to run for Secretary of State.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, that's odd, but maybe you're getting a different message. Don't know, not going to pretend to know who speaks to who or what. You're kind of really starting to look like I just want to be a politician, but we'll go with it. And I said, if you're going to run for Secretary of State, you have got to bring the smoke on Diego Morales, because you have to make this primary, this convention vote about Diego Morales, the incumbent Secretary of State, and all the egregious things that he has done. And if you don't, you will lose badly, because clearly the Republican Party doesn't really like you based on your most recent run for public office. Does any of that I've just laid out, does any of that seem like it's over the top or mean-spirited or even inaccurate?
No, that all tracks, because especially in the Secretary of State's race, where you're going to be running at convention specifically, and you're going to be running after another member of your own party, another Republican, you're specifically going to have to make this a referendum election on all the various misdeeds and allegations surrounding Diego Morales' time in office. It's that simple.
And I think some of these people just want to be seen. I don't even think it's about winning. I think it's about, well, if I just say I'm running for this, then suddenly I get some level of relevance. And I know you probably noticed this. When they post, like when this woman will post online, it's like Dickens novels. Mm-hmm. It's just paragraphs of stuff.
It's a lot of words, but very little to say.
Well, that's right. And so I kept responding to her publicly, because you know me, Ethan. If I say it, if I don't say it, I'm just going to say it right to your face. Sure. And in Twitter, the equivalent is saying it, publicly. And I'd say it if she walked in here. This is ridiculous. Either start pointing out what Diego is and all the crap he's pulled, or get out of the race, because you're an unserious person at this point, and all you're going to do is take votes away from the other guy running who's actually being serious, who we had on our program earlier. And by the way, I ripped David Shelton too for not being mean enough to Diego Morales. It's totally consistent. And that's what I told her. I've just repeatedly said, lady, either start bringing some smoke or get out, because you are boring and you're ridiculous and you're just taking up time and oxygen.
Absolutely. I mean, you need to do something to grab attention and to kind of form the foundation for why you're running for office. And that's the thing with Jamie Rittenauer. Like, I don't get why she's running at this point. What does she plan to do in Secretary of State, especially if she's not running this as a referendum against Diego Morales and setting things straight in the State House?
Well, and so you'll love this. For that, I've apparently been blocked on Facebook.
She needs the squeeze from you, Rob. She needs the attention.
Because multiple people sent this over to me, that she apparently made some post about me and our old pal Steven over at Indie Reporter, but it was where you'd be tagged in it, but there's no tag, and I can't find her page, and then it dawned on me, oh, I've been blocked. And so what does this say about these people that are representing us, where you desperately want, and it's, what a bad guy I am or whatever, and then she posts these messages I sent to her, which her big reveal in this post was messages that I sent to her saying, hey, Braun and Rokita are worthless in terms of dealing with Diego, and they're not going to do it. The same things I say on this radio program every day. And she was posting these messages like, look at what I've got, the private messages from Rob. Yes, lady, the governor and the attorney general are fully aware of what Diego is, but they will not touch him because the media, the money that touches them also touches him, and they're not going to do anything. I'll say it here. It's like a Dr. Seuss novel, right? But what is going on with these politicians, or want to be politicians in this case, where they are so fragile? They'll make a big post about how horrible I am, but they're going to block me to try to ensure that I can't see it or respond to it.
That's the thing that I thought was the most cowardly aspect about that particular post, because if she's going to be sharing screenshots of your private messages, and look, I know you don't care because you say the same thing in private that you say in public, so it's consistent all the time, but if you're going to be sharing messages and screenshots of somebody, you should at least give them the opportunity to respond instead of trying to bypass that debate so you can shout in your echo chamber, as small as it may be, with people who agree with you.
And what other logical reason is there that everybody is the facts are not in dispute with Diego Morales?
No.
And yet none of these people in the Republican orbit will take him on. Even the people that are running against him, even the people who have everything to gain by pointing out how ridiculous this guy is and how unfit for office he is, and yet nobody will say anything. But yet when Bo Bai decides he's going to run, well, we have aneurysms over where he voted last and where he lives.
And that's ironic coming from Diego Morales history. Yeah.
So anyway, I find it fascinating, the obsession over me and our show, and these people are more angry at me. All I was telling her is, lady, you're a bad candidate. You're not getting any traction. You're not going to win unless you do this. And for that, I got blocked. So I tried.
I think this is a fascinating peek into the current mentality of Indiana politics more broadly, and why our state has ended up in this situation is because there is this fundamental unwillingness to put your own party under the magnifying glass and then hold these people accountable. And the thing that they run to every single time is like, oh, well, a Democrat would be worse. Oh, I could never vote for a Democrat. But then you'll vote for these rotten Republicans who are given no-bid contracts to their business buddies, or nepotism, giving jobs to their brother-in-law, voting in counties where they don't live, all the things. And they'll vote for that, but they don't want to vote for a Democrat or ever hold these people accountable. And that's why the state has ended up so rotten, and with a lot of rotten leadership at a lot of levels.
Well, on that uplifting note, it's time to call it a program today. Thank you for your participation, Ethan. Hey, if people want to find you, how can they do that?
You can find me on the Twitter machine at Ethan Hatcher, my name, ETHAN, and you can find me 7 to 9 every Saturday night on Saturday Night on The Circle, and my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Great job, Kevin. Thank you as always, and most importantly, thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. Stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numbness, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Matt Schulke, chiropractic neurologist and board certified in neuropathy. What is neuropathy?
Neuropathy is nerve damage in the feet or hands.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
Absolutely, and we get amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, pain, or balance issues, call Dr. Schulke today for a free nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their specialized treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call 463-400-3338. Act now. Call 463-400-3338 for your free nerve damage screening. 463-400-3338.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Transform your backyard this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor furniture set with their best stamped concrete patio package. Hurry, offer ends November 1st. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Across the state, we are down about 5 to 7 inches of rain.
When our community calls in and raises alarms.
He's done a fantastic job in bringing this country together.
I thought our guys were resilient.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Laying out the drought and rain possibilities. Sunny and 67 degrees in the Circle City. High today of 75. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Drought conditions have been impacting Indiana quite a bit over the last several months.
Across the state, we are down about 5 to 7 inches of rain, and we're just not going to see that amount of rainfall anytime soon. So at this point, I would expect the drought conditions to continue, not necessarily worsening, but likely not improving as well.
Mike Ryan with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there will likely be some rain this weekend, but it won't be close to the amount of rain the state needs. The driver of a pickup truck hit a man this morning on the south side of Indianapolis. IMPD says it happened at the intersection of Shelby and Raymond Streets at around 5:45. The man who was hit was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. They also say the truck driver left the scene initially, but then came back and is now cooperating with police. A man was shot and killed at a gas station on Indy's southwest side Saturday night. Jake McDaniel with that story.
Indy Metro police officers say they found the man when they arrived at a Marathon gas station on Kentucky Avenue at around 7. He did not survive the shooting, they say.
Community involvement is critical anytime that we have an incident, no matter the scale. When our community calls in and raises alarm to something that's going on, it can point our officers and detectives in the right area.
IMPD officer Drew Brown says that they are looking into this. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
President Trump is in Egypt meeting with leaders from more than 20 countries for a summit focused on peace in Gaza and the Middle East. There has been a peace deal with Israel and Hamas, and remaining hostages held captive in Gaza are being released. President Trump says, do not underestimate the help he got from the Egyptian president.
He's done a fantastic job in bringing this country together, and the United States is with him all the way. Thank you. Okay, all the way, and it's an honor to be with you.
Many aspects of the overall peace deal remain unresolved, though, including whether Hamas will agree to disarm and who would be in charge of Gaza during the rebuilding. As for the war between Russia and Ukraine, well, the president also weighed in on that. Here's Fox's Greg Palcott.
President Trump says he may offer Kyiv long-range Tomahawk missiles that could be used by Ukraine if Russian President Vladimir Putin does not end the war. Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One on his way to Israel, quote, I might tell Putin if the war is not settled, we may very well do it. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told Fox News Ukraine would only use the missiles against military targets. Missiles would put Moscow within Kyiv's reach. The Kremlin has warned against the U.S. providing them. Kyiv has lately been hitting Russia's energy infrastructure. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez was released from a hospital Sunday and booked into the Marion County Jail in regards to the stabbing incident that happened earlier this month. He's due in court to face criminal charges in early November. Sanchez is accused of causing a fight with a grease truck driver named Perry Toll, and Toll says he stabbed Sanchez in self-defense, which is what landed Sanchez in the hospital. A gift, football, and food. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the hostages are free. What does that mean for the United States? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
An Indianapolis mother says she got a life-changing gift last week from the National Auto Body Council Recycled Rides program. Johnette Cruz reports.
Alex Ball, nominated by Family Promise Hendricks County, received a refurbished vehicle on Tuesday at Caliber Collision in downtown Indianapolis. Family Promise helps families facing homelessness by providing secure, stable housing. The donation, made possible by travelers and Caliber Collision, replaces her old vehicle, which was in poor condition. Officials said the safe, reliable car will help Alex continue building a better future for herself and her young son, allowing her to take the next step towards stability. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The 6-0 Indiana Hoosier football team is now ranked number 3 in both the Associated Press and the coaches poll. This is Indiana's highest ranking in program history. Indiana's been ranked nationally in both the coaches and the AP polls for a team record 20 straight weeks going back to 2024. The Hoosiers are coming off a 30-20 upset win over the Oregon Ducks. IU head football coach Kurt Cignetti says they capitalized on momentum in that game by getting a 58-yard field goal from Brendan Franke, which tied a school record.
I thought Frankie's field goal was really big, just like last week against Iowa. You know, that end of the half score gave us momentum going in the locker room, and our defense was tremendous in the second half. Our kicking game was really good all day.
His Hoosiers face Michigan State in Bloomington this upcoming Saturday. The Indianapolis Colts are 5-1 after hanging on to beat the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, 31-27. Colts head coach Shane Steichen says he's proud of a lot of things.
I thought our guys were resilient for 4 quarters. Obviously found a way there at the end, getting a 4-down stop there in the red zone, but a lot of back and forth. Credit to Arizona. That's a hell of a football team over there.
And the Colts face the 4-2 Los Angeles Chargers in L.A. this Sunday. From shoulder pads and cleats to spatulas, spoons, and sauces, because the World Food Championships are going on this week in Indianapolis. Ryan Hedrick with that story.
Chefs from around the world this week will be competing for nearly $500,000, which will put the state on the culinary map, says Larry Dickerson, founder of Culinary Crossroads.
Any place in this state, go an hour and you've got one of the top universities or colleges in the world. Drive another hour any direction, you've got some of the best educators.
He told Inside Indiana Business this is the second time the event will be in Indy. The World Food Championships will get going Thursday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.